what's going on? Rob Sesternino back here to kick off the final countdown to the Survivor 48 premiere. It's the Podcaster Draft, and we are so back tonight as the podcasters will draft the 18 Survivor 48 contestants, and you will watch it all play out live here with our esteemed panel of Survivor podcasters here to talk. It is not everybody who's a Survivor podcaster, but it is these six who have drafted in some way, shape, or form since Survivor 41. And so it is a great pleasure to welcome in the team. Okay, of course, first here with us, again, no particular order, a man who's everybody has won a draft here. It's Taryn Armstrong. Taryn, how are you?
You know, I'm doing great. I don't know what that intro was, but you know,
he said nothing. A man who,
a man who everyone else has also won the draft as well.
Man,
all right,
okay.
Should we start it again? You got it. You got this, Taryn. All right, here we go. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Basically, what happened was your first instinct when introducing me was how good I am at drafts and how often I win, and then you were like, "Oh, that's not fair to the others. I need to make sure I'm inclusive." Which, listen, I get it. It's fine. Everyone has won a draft now. I've just won more, so it's fine, and I'm doing great.
Okay.
Have you won more?
Off
he
to
can't speak, brother.
Start so far.
Oh, I'm not in that.
Listen, I also Survivor just because I was around longer than you, young.
We're not even through the intros here yet. All right, so let's. Okay, all right. Also with us, Puya, Liana, Chappelle, Shannon, and Asia. Okay.
That's it.
All right.
Boy, y'all really falling in, huh?
Look, you guys critiqued the first version, and now you got the second version. Okay, let's highlight a couple of things. Okay, all right. Here with us, we're so excited. Asia Welch. Asia, how are you?
Woo! Hey, how y'all doing?
Hey, Asia, let me just say, we were on our best behavior while you were away on vacation, and we are so happy to have you back.
I am confused. I'm like, what happened? What's going on?
How'd you let me win?
That's what we said.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm coming into something like we're in trouble. I'm excited to be back. You know, I was trying to go get like another perspective so I can come in the draft at a different angle, you know? So that's all that was.
Well, should we talk about how Asia just ditched us all for 2 seasons? Is that okay?
It was research, Shannon. She was conducting research, which we support. Okay,
I'm quite hurt by it.
She had to go forge her own path. How can we fault her for that?
Right.
Yes.
Were we?
Okay. All right. Well, we also have to congratulate the winner of last season's draft. Here she is, the queen of international Survivor podcasting and the reigning draft champion. It's Shannon Goss. Shannon, how are you?
I mean, I'm great. I'm here for my victory lap. I've been just doing that lap for the last.
Not a girl's
few months.
trip. It's a victory lap.
Yeah, it's been. I don't know what that reference was, but the point is, I've just been running.
We know
the lap.
scriptedtv.com.
Okay, well, I'm podcasting a lot. It's hard to keep up with everything, but what I do know is that, I mean, Shannon Hive rise, right? Like you said, it couldn't be done, all of you in different ways to different degrees, which will be reflected in the draft order. It was done. And let's talk about the fact that the odds of us all winning and Asia leaving and Rob coming in to have us all win once in 7 times was like under a 0.5% chance.
Incredible.
It's crazy, statistically.
Get baby Andy to crunch the numbers.
He did. He messaged me, actually. That's what he said, under 0.5%.
All right, so if you're just joining us here, Shannon, the victor of the season 47 draft, she will, in a moment, give us the order that the 6 drafters will then proceed to have a draft, a 3-round snake draft, where they are looking to pick the winner of Survivor 48. The only wrinkle, don't pick the grenade, the first boot of Survivor 48. If you do, your team is immediately disqualified unless the other 2 players on your team make it to the final 3 and you have the winner on your team. Impossible? That's what they said to Chappelle when he did it in Survivor 42.
And I said nay, thanks to Marianne. And so it can be done. Let's see if it happens again.
Okay. All right. We got to chat with everybody a little bit, except for the stars of the Puya and Liana Lounge. Puya and Liana, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Keeping it to be.
All right. So, Shannon, in just a moment, we'll ask you to tell us the order that you have selected for this year's draft. But, of course, a great tradition we have on the Podcaster Draft is that we hear from the person who helped the drafter win. And we do have some words for Shannon from the winner of Survivor 47 and the brand new co-host of the official Survivor podcast. Let's hear from Rachel.
The sweet, sweet taste of victory. Shannon, you did it. I searched my house for a crown so we could be winning together. I don't have one, but I know you're wearing that tiara right now and you look beautiful. You look regal. All of these people in the room know that their fate is in your hands and should be bowing, should be kissing the ring. So make sure they're treating you right, Shannon, and log any thing that you need to remember when you're deciding this draft pick order. I'm just so happy that we got to win together, Shannon. It took you many years. It took me many years. And, we don't talk about how this isn't, the rules were bent. This isn't a solo win. We don't talk about how, Saul got an advantage or I found something in my fries. We don't talk about how if Rob hadn't put Chappelle in the draft order before you, maybe you would have picked Sam instead of him. But we don't talk about those things because this is what really happened and the details don't really matter. So cheers. I'm so happy for us. And I think, unsolicited advice, which you don't need, but because I know you have spreadsheets on spreadsheets about like who deserves to be what, but obviously make yourself first, Shannon. That is just a no-brainer. And I think when you're trying to decide the fate of everybody else around you, really start tallying those wrongs from all these years and just make sure you measure them against one another. And don't forget anything. No slight goes unpunished, okay?
Wow.
Good luck. I am so happy that you won, Shannon. And I think statistically that winning again back-to-back, I think it's in the cards. So good luck, everyone, but mostly Shannon. Bye.
Okay.
Yay!
All right. Well, forget back-to-back. Somebody is going to be the only person to hold 2 championships over the rest of the panel. So this one is for keeps on Survivor 48. So we will see how it all plays out. Just a couple of programming notes before we hear Shannon's draft order. We have, of course, so much Survivor coverage for you about to come your way. We just announced it today that the Survivor Know-It-Alls are returning to Wednesday nights. So Stephen and I will be live after the 2-hour episode streaming our thoughts to you about the episode this week and every week back on Wednesdays. That'll give me the opportunity to speak with a guest in a long form interview back on Thursday. So we're going back to how we did it for many, many years. So I'm very excited about the new format. We will also be bringing you a old school Survivor interview every single week, in addition to then when Chappelle and I come on for Club Condo on Monday, plus the Survivor exit interview and everything else that we're doing over at WeKnowSurvivor.com. Okay. Also on the Patreon feed today, there was a special podcast that Brandon, Mike Bloom, and Sam Moore recorded about the Beach Drop event in New York, talking all about that. If you want to hear that, that's in our Patreon podcast feed at robiswebsite.com/patron, where you'll also get access to the Survivor Q&A every week. You can call in live and ask me all your Survivor questions Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern. All right, Shannon. All right, come join me up here, okay?
Hi. Rob, it's always going to make me happy that I'm the only person on the panel to have beaten you.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
no one else. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yes,
Rob, for drafting me. I appreciate it.
I wanted to.
Okay. So I played with my head and my heart, and I drafted Asia. Okay. Can you blame me?
Sorry, I forgot that Asia was your draft pick. No shade at Asia. I'm just saying I beat Rob. It wasn't meant to be the drive-by on Asia. Okay. Anyway, thank you, Rachel. Let's just thank Queen Rachel. How has no one sent her a tiara? I want to just point out the fact that. Well, I'm not sending her this one. Someone else sent her a different tiara.
We typically don't send a crown to the Survivor winners. We haven't. That would be new precedent. We haven't done that. Yeah,
they should be doing that. 100%. It's criminal that she doesn't have a crown. Someone send her a crown right now.
Someone with a crown, send her a crown.
I'm not. There are more than just this one crown. This is my crown, and others can buy her one at a store and send her a crown.
Shannon, you can buy her one at the store and send her a crown too.
Shipping is expensive from Australia. Someone closer to Rachel should send. Anyway, I already sent her a mug on behalf of Rob.
Shannon, what is the draft order for tonight?
What's happening? Okay, great. I've been thinking about the draft order roughly since about when Rachel won the blocker vote, right? And I have not, as Rachel says, I've thought about every single slide. Through years of history, everywhere I was put in every draft order that all of you have had a chance to decide, and it gave me so much intel on where to put everyone. Okay. Let's go with number one, who is going to be first in the draft order. It's not myself. I'm going to put someone who I think has always been very kind to me. A few years ago, this person put me second in the draft order, and I thought, what's your angle here? And now through years of kindness, Goose Duck, he put my spreadsheet on the screen that one time. He drove to see me in Anaheim, and I thought, Taryn might just be really nice to me. So I'm putting Taryn first. Wow. For the fact that I've now realized he's always been being nice to me. Taryn's first.
It worked.
It was a long time.
Oh, thank God.
He did it.
Playing the long game.
He did it.
Oh my God.
That's
No.
why he's the strategy guy. That's this. He did it. He texted me earlier and said, Chappelle, I got this. I said, I know you do. You deserve.
Well, I feel good about it. Second place. Now, one of you did put me first. You weren't playing in that draft, but you did put me first because you ditched us to go play Survivor. Now, Asia put me first, but I do remember the slight that she then made fun of my pick, and I didn't like that. But then I thought she went on Survivor, and that's cool. But then I thought she ditched us to go on Survivor. So I kind of equaled that out to being second place for Asia.
Okay.
Thank you. Nice.
Right. Asia will get the second pick.
Yeah. Asia, you happy with that pick?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay, great. Hope everyone remembers where they're going. Third place, I'm going to put myself. Why? Just out of like vibing the cast. There's a few people I'd be happy to get. I think this is like the best place for me. I don't have like a strong first pick. And I think there's a couple of people I want and one will fall to me. Fourth place, Liana put me fourth. I thought I'd return the favor. Liana has also offered at times to switch with me. It's not been allowed. But fourth, I think, is also a really good spot for this draft. So I've put Liana in at fourth.
Oh, I like that.
And for fifth place and sixth place. This was very tough, obviously, because it was to my great disappointment that I couldn't put both Puya and Chappelle in last. Had I had the choice, I would have put Puya, Chappelle, and Rob, to be honest, all in last. But that wasn't available to me for many reasons. Now, in the history of slides, I could go on and on and on and on. But instead of doing that, I'm going to say there was one distinct factor that differentiated this for me. Why did I put Puya fifth? One reason alone, he's not Chappelle. Puya and that is the draft order.
Hey.
Okay. All right.
Chappelle, how does it feel knowing you and I join her weekly to cover AU and we got the shaft?
Do we join her weekly or do we just get this week? I don't know. Puya, I'm coming down with some, I don't know.
You love being there.
I'm busy.
Yeah, look,
you love being my recap bitches.
Yeah, recap, comma bitches. So here's the thing. Nobody's shocked by this. This isn't sexy. You know, people been saying Chappelle's gonna be last this whole time. Shannon, step it up next time. Give it up, Delicious. Is that good enough?
Okay.
Why?
Take it away, Rob.
All right. Taryn has the first pick in the Survivor 48 draft. And Taryn, take it away.
Okay. Well, obviously, I have done extensive research.
Taryn, you better read that article.
I put you first. He's reading right now. We can see his eyes moving along the page.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're not expecting to be this soon.
That is true. I don't usually have to pick first, although I do appreciate it and I do like picking first. I do have a pick in mind.
Ooh.
Now I'm gonna say this. Pet peeves this year, this season, not it.
Okay.
Not good. Very bad pet peeves. I'm very disappointed in this cast. In fact, I'm quite peeved by him, to be honest. There are a couple of people that have some passable peeves, though. And there's one person in particular who I think has some good judgment. And that person is Shaheen.
Oh, so bad. Oh, no.
Oh,
I feel so
dead.
bad.
That's a dagger right at the
That's
fifth
so.
spot.
Oh
I-
my god.
I
That's
mean,
my
That's
fault.
a
Do you
dagger.
think he's gonna go 5th, Puya?
I
mean,
honestly,
Shannon
I didn't think,
basically
Yeah.
screwed Puya over.
I
worse
told
than
Puya was
Puya
ready to
yesterday.
claim him.
I didn't think anyone would take him from Puya.
I just
know
don't
how
think
mu-
that's true.
I know how much it meant to Puya, and I just thought that that we would let him get to 5th. Is this my fault or Taryn's fault? I feel
It's your
awful.
fault. It's definitely your fault.
Okay.
Really, on pet peeves alone, you picked him? Like Puya's like really wanted him.
It wasn't pet peeves alone. It was on his judgment.
Mhm.
Okay.
I think he has
Taryn,
shown good
let's-
judgment.
Let's talk about your judgment. Okay. What did you like about Shaheen?
I think that he is somebody who has shown some strength in decision making, and his pet peeves are people who miss the forest for the trees
That part.
/ inability to see big picture / lack of appreciation. He also doesn't like being interrupted, which is probably pretty difficult considering that he likes slashes. However, the thing that sold me on Shaheen is that the reason he doesn't like being interrupted is because he loves the sound of his voice.
Okay.
The fact
That's a
that
good
this is
pet
why
peeve.
you're choosing him over Puya's extreme reasons and want. It's so upsetting for Puya.
We also share a fandom. He's a fan of a podcast that I like.
Puya, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please come back
Are
to the
you?
Australian Survivor coverage, please.
No,
I
no.
need you.
We just got sick.
Okay. What else about Shaheen from the people who didn't get the chance to draft him? Was he a number 1 pick for anybody besides Puya?
I
I
want to
was
hear.
gonna let him get to Puya.
Well, I wanted to hear from Liana.
In what
Liana.
universe did you
come
think
on.
putting me 5th was gonna bring him to me?
I thought other people would be kind.
That's what she
I
thought,
thought-
Puya. She really
thought 4
that.
people were gonna give me charity?
One was me, and I
Oh,
was
let him
gonna
have
give
what
him
he wants.
She
Wait,
didn't even,
the-
you
the-
didn't even
the
give him
Survivor
charity. You
contestant?
had the opportunity
No,
to
not
give him
just the
charity and you
Survivor
did not.
contestant.
Puya, make
Oh.
sure you aim your ire right at Shannon, who made this draft order.
I would
what
also
was
like
saying-
to say, like, I didn't think Puya would have that reaction. I
Oh,
don't know
yeah,
what
that's
you
why
guys
it's funny.
do.
The
The rest of
one
us did.
Persian man.
Yeah. The
First
bearded Persian
man
guy. I wonder
ever.
who Puya's
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah,
pick.
He was
bearded
ready to
Persian
claim
guy.
him.
Yeah.
No. Rob, stop
One of his
saying
people.
that, Rob.
What-
Stop
what-
this.
What I was
please.
gonna say is,
I
Liana,
understand.
I know he was such a hot topic on the B&B as he was the
Yes.
beard guy last season.
Yes.
What did you think about Shaheen?
It felt like the prophecy had come true. Like finally, this was time to meet Bearded Man. And Puya obviously had laid claim to him as far as I was concerned. But I listened to his bio and I couldn't help but be drawn to him. I just think he's got such an energy that I really appreciate. Obviously, the big concern, hearing himself talk, maybe not shutting up, that could obviously get him into trouble. But overall, he stood out to me in this cast. He was at the top of my draft board. If for some reason Puya had an aneurysm and couldn't draft him.
Or this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it
Mark.
helps that I love his shirt for one. That's
Mm.
I mean, just gonna say that. But I think it helps that like it was a surprise to me that he was 38 by just the energy he gives off, which I think is gonna work in his favor because it's like, oh, he's giving off young energy. He seems like somebody who can talk to anybody. He does seem very charismatic. He does describe himself as charismatic, but I agree. I think he is charismatic. And so he does seem like someone that you either are going to like love right off the bat, or I could see him easily being someone that people are like, whoa, this guy has a big personality. That's something I don't want around. So
Yeah.
I think with the tribe he's with, because that's what I'm going off of this time, is the tribe makeups, it does seem like that's a fine group for him.
My issue is like the 2 seasons of attention. Like I even letting him get to Puyo was not gonna pick him for that reason early, just because like I just feel it's unlikely someone's gonna get all the way to the end and win with that level of attention. But in my defense, Puyo, I wasn't gonna take him. I know that Liana wouldn't take him from you because you guys put your relationship before the draft, which I don't agree with or understand, but I know she would have. Asia, so sweet and kind. I knew she wouldn't take him from you. And I just thought, what are the odds Taryn likes his peeves the best? And I bet it all on that. So anyway, I bet wrong.
Shannon,
that was my thinking.
Taryn will look at the peeves and then pick the one we're all looking at. He's that clinical with the peeves.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I'm sad.
She knew
Taryn,
what she
have
did.
fun. Have
She
fun.
knew
I'm
what
rooting
she
for
did.
Taryn to win the draft now. How's that going for me?
So I
Great.
have some concerns about Shaheen though. Obviously, like Shannon said, I mean, he's the attention guy. Like everybody in last season, people were at Ponderosa or like pregame, I guess, saying like, "Who's the guy with the beard? The guy with the beard? There's a guy with the beard, you know." And now in this preseason press too, they're still saying the guy with the beard, the guy with the beard. I'm like, okay, what is he doing? And I think he was putting on a lot last season. In his interview, he talked about how he was there really trying to make connection with people. He like, you know, smiling and this, that, and other. And it really did make an impact. And now he thinks he has to pull it back in. But I just feel like he's not the guy who can hide, right? I think like once he becomes the biggest threat on the board, they're after him. And unless he has a Rachel-esque run in him, I don't know if he can make it to the end and win.
Was he the alternate in 46 or 47?
46.
I believe it was
46.
Okay, 46. So Asia, you went out there with him for the insights.
Yes,
right.
Yeah, so I think that's the thing is we're hoping like because Kenzie won in 46 and then Rachel was there on 46, and now if he wins, it would be crazy how many winners were there on that beach. So that might be some good luck charm for him as well. But yeah, I think the attention is a bit concerning.
Okay. Anything else about Shaheen? The number one pick on the board. I think that he's a super engaging speaker. I think that he is likely to be a big character. I don't see Shaheen winning just for a lot of the reasons that were said in terms of just the threat level that I think he's going to have just from being such a big personality and such an engaging person that people are never going to forget him. And I do think you need a little bit of like being able to be a little bit forgettable to be able to win in the new era. And if there's anything about Shaheen, he is not forgettable.
No.
Right.
He's a big fan.
I've been told that he is pro pencil eating, so that was enough for me.
What does that mean? Like he eats pencils?
No, not him. It's just, you should follow through on things that you said you're going to do. That's what he feels. Is what I feel.
Is that what pencil eating means?
Yeah.
Did I miss something?
Yeah, we all get it, Chappelle.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why you're confused.
Also,
All right.
shout out to Shaheen's mom who listens to the podcast.
Hey, Mama Shaheen.
Okay. All right.
Wow, and so she gets to see him go first. That's nice.
Okay. Asia is back and ready to make her first draft pick since what? Survivor 45?
Yes. So victory lap for when I
Yes.
won with D.
Yes.
Yeah. That
Haven't
was a
seen
long
y'all
time.
That
since
was a
then.
decade ago. You can do that stuff.
We've done victory marathons since then for
Right.
you,
didn't win
Asia.
a
We've
play
thrown
Survivor
parades.
instead. Like,
Y'all remember when D won?
Right. Yeah.
Barely, actually.
Right.
Asia, your mom got to watch you go first in the draft
She
as well, right?
did.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, she did. So shout out to the moms out there. So I am going to kind of draft differently this time. I'm going purely on vibes. In the past, I've overthought it, and you can overthink it, and
You can
know,
hurt
then
yourself
it doesn't
overthinking
matter.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Someone can have an amazing bio, and then So I do need my good luck charm though, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this on, right?
Yeah.
Just for for safekeeping.
One of us.
We'll put this one in. Okay, so for my first pick, I'm gonna go with someone. I'm gonna go with a woman. Okay. I'm gonna go with someone who gave me really good vibes. They also are looking for vibes in their alliance partner. I'm gonna go with Bianca.
Okay.
So
All right.
Bianca Roses, which very good last name, right? She's 33. She's a PR consultant. She describes herself as bold, friendly, enthusiastic. I think she just gives me really good vibes. I think she is on a solid tribe. It seems like her tribe is like a tribe that she could like get along with everybody on it. I don't really see her being the outcast on that tribe. So I think she could be fine in the early game. And then let me see who else is on her tribe. Where's she at? Okay. Yeah, I think she has some strong guys on her
the
tribe.
with what, Star, Eva, Joe, Thomas, and Shaheen.
Yeah, exactly. So they seem like a strong bunch. I see her being somebody that they all want to talk to, and then getting to like when she gets to the merge, I could see her easily developing relationships just because she seems like somebody that's very easy to talk to and not as like immediately threatening. Like some people might see other people like, oh, that person's too strong, or oh, that person's like a Shaheen, like super big personality. I think she's like has the personality like just enough.
She did also say that D was the winner pick, or the winner that she associated with the most, Asia. So that does bode well for you.
It does. Ties all together.
I really liked Bianca's interview with Mike. It was so cool. You could tell she's a super fan, so that's a plus. And she's all into her PR, I believe. And she was talking about how that could translate to the island. But I'm different from Asia. I looked at the tribe that she's on and thought, oh my God, she might be in trouble. Because I feel like of them, the super fans, her and Shaheen they're probably gonna click, but also that would be a very threatening pair if it was me looking at them and thinking, okay, who knows this game inside and out, who we could probably snip and say like, oh, let's keep the tribe strong and just kind of get away with it. I think Bianca is probably somebody you could kind of clip off and just like, oh yeah, we just had to get rid of her because we couldn't keep the tribe strong, when in reality, you don't want her to go too far because she could take it all.
That's if she makes it known, like they could let Shaheen seems like somebody who wouldn't keep it a secret that he is such a big fan. And if Bianca decides like, okay, I'm just going to keep that on the hush, maybe Shaheen could be the one telling Bianca about RHAP. It's happened before.
I have a bone to pick with Bianca.
Okay.
Ooh, pick the bone.
Because Bianca's bio is full of words, answers. She wrote a dissertation on every single question.
That would be annoying if you were reading it right now. Yeah.
Except for the pet peeves. It's paragraphs on paragraphs. And then you get to the pet peeves. And first of all, you're like, where are they? Because you can't find them. Because then you find them and it's 4 words. I'm telling you, if you look at this thing, it's comical in its presentation. Indecisiveness and mean people. And then she goes off on a big explanation about another question. What are we doing here? Why are we even doing this?
So Sharon brought up her bio for the first time ever 30 seconds ago and then was like searching panic for the pet peeves and now is like upset about that.
I looked at it yesterday.
Okay.
Listen, it's 4 words. He got through it very quickly. He revisited it today. And I think it's fair. I think that, look, we're looking for whatever information we can mine from these people that's going to help us make our picks. And she didn't give a lot in that category. So I'll give Taryn that.
Were the 4 words good enough? Like,
It was indecisiveness and mean people.
And what do you think of that?
Not good.
Are those not your pet peeves?
No, you're right. It's not.
They're just
good.
incredibly generic. Who likes mean people?
Yeah. It speaks for itself. Okay. You're right. They're bad pet peeves. If that's the one metric that she can win on, that's
any other strong opinions about Bianca here at number 2?
She is so fun. I hope she doesn't go early because I think she will give us great TV. I think
she's a big personality.
Like this is
a fun personality.
She's going to be a standout. If given the opportunity, I think she could be a standout.
Okay. All right. So Asia is locked in with Bianca at number 2. And now we go to our reigning champion, Shannon, with the number 3 pick overall. Shannon, let me just ask you, before you make your pick, has your number 1 person fallen to you?
Yes. Everyone that I was high on has fallen to me.
So far the draft has gone perfectly according to your plan.
As always, Rob. As always, I plan to win last as well.
So perfectly, like as in Puya doesn't get.
Oh, I feel bad for Puya, but like
doesn't feel.
I would rather good things happen for me.
Right, that's real.
Don't overthink it, Shannon.
Thank you so much, Asia. I'm remembering as well that Asia said she didn't want me to pick her. And maybe I should have put Asia lower down in the draft. But
look, by not picking her, you won the draft. So she helped you.
That is true. But I wanted to pick her. The funny thing is that Asia slid into my DMs a couple of days ago to be like, we were all so happy when you won the draft. I was like, all right, it'll be noted in your draft order place.
Honestly, I just forgot to tell you, and I wanted
Asia,
to
what
tell
is
you
wrong
before.
with you?
Yeah, she's strategizing. She's still on the island. I'm telling you.
Yeah, seriously, like start planning ahead of time. Don't go like the week before. Come on, that's amateur.
Do it years early. Do it in 2022. Okay, so my draft strategy is kind of out the window, right? Years of picking the buff guy who I think can beast out in a short and new era, only to pick a woman who beasts out and wins it for me in the short and new era has really thrown everything for me. I don't know what to do anymore. So what am I doing? Like Asia said, vibes. Who did I just like in their interview the most? And when I looked at that, I thought, you simply must pick Thomas. Thomas, I loved. I thought Thomas was so fun. He compared himself to Mike White, and like we're all in our White Lotus phase at the moment.
Not everybody, since I made a White Lotus reference before, and nobody on the panel picked up on it.
From the second
haven't started
episode?
the season.
I haven't watched the second
I believe
episode
it was from
because
the
I'm
first.
podcasting all the time. Okay, then I just missed it. I sold the first. What was the reference, Rob?
Yeah,
Just
tell
keep
us.
going. You're cooking.
No,
I
you stop
watched
this
that
for us.
episode.
Let's go ahead and tell
Now we
us.
need to know.
It's
Yeah.
not a girl's trip. It's a victory lap.
Oh, and outline of
that's
the
what it
and
was.
outline
It
of the
was from
episode.
okay, I wasn't thinking. I have seen the episode. My
Yeah.
brain is a little bit like because of Australian Survivor. I'm trying to fit all the things into it. Okay, but I did make time. To
That
watch
was
it.
a
This
great
was-
reference, Rob. We're really
Yeah.
proud of you.
Yeah, listen, Karen. I'll fucking end the draft right
my
now.
God.
Okay.
Why did you
All
drop
right,
the
let me
F-bomb? Are you
put the
okay?
whole group on notice.
What
Okay.
did we do?
Fine with that.
Strike
being
one.
serious.
Strike one,
I
everybody.
didn't know we had to memorize the White Lotus to be here. God.
Oh my god, I wasn't expecting that, and I'm just so thrown. I can't even remember
everybody
anything about
okay?
Thomas.
Is that the most heated Rob's ever been on a podcast?
Have you ever heard
No.
Rob's
What
hair
did
on a
we
podcast?
do?
Like,
What did we
I
do? We've been
I
so
think
well
Thomas is a
behaved.
great pick.
Look at Asia, all in my DMs complimenting me in case I win again. I see you.
Okay.
Asia. I believe nothing.
Shannon, tell us about Thomas.
Rob, I'm sorry for whatever we did to you. And
right.
I really liked your reference. White Lotus. He reminds me of Mike White. He was so funny. He had me laughing the whole time. I just really liked him, so I picked him first. That's Thomas. Any thoughts on Thomas?
Nope, nothing to say.
He seems like he doesn't take himself too seriously, which I love. He seems like very likable guy. Like I don't know. I get all good vibes from him.
Ironically, he's on that tribe as well. So this tribe better do well. We have 3 people from the tribe as the first 3 picks.
Let's keep it going.
I think he's in a really good position because he is one of 3 people who doesn't like being late or people who are late. And he can really bond with people about that.
Oh,
you know,
shit. Was
I
that
feel
his
like this is
peeve?
going to be a hot topic on the island.
Oh shit, Thomas would hate me. Okay, I didn't know that was his peeve, but I still really like him. He might not like me, but I really like him. I think that's what's important. So I'm sorry, Thomas. I'm not punctual. Okay, so would you have taken him soon? Would anyone else have taken him soon?
I would have. He was in
Yeah,
my
I would have
top,
as
like,
well.
Okay.
Well, I would have had to wait until later to pick him.
Right. Based on the draft order. Yeah. No, great pick.
No, because he's
Yeah.
being late is his pet peeve, but whatever.
Oh. Guys, I don't have space in my brain today. I don't know how to explain to you. I'm telling you, Rob, it's not about you.
Turn this podcast around.
Sorry. Anyway, so Thomas just seemed he was so fun. Like all I remember again on Vibes was I was getting my nails done, listening to his interview, and I was just laughing out loud. And that's great. That's gonna be good for tribe morale. He just seems really fun. He's a really successful guy and is coming like out here for the adventure. With by coming in from like, a really kind of stable, good life. What's his age and everything? Let's look at someone I drafted. 34.
34.
Music executive. I could send him some of my old tapes. Maybe we get something going. I will be late to that meeting though. Outgoing, emotional, loyal. He's got it all. Go Thomas. Yeah, forever.
He's like this season's John Lovett.
Oh,
Oh.
shit.
Is that a good thing?
Well, hopefully, yeah. Hopefully,
Oh, well, I was thinking
I
more
just
Mike
mean
White.
likable
Okay, well,
and
okay.
yeah, successful.
Is anybody down on the Thomas pick?
Honestly, no. He's all around great. Energy was great. I felt like you could get lost in a conversation with him, which is a great thing. And I feel like has a good head for the game. I think Thomas is a deep run person.
He also has a good mustache.
That was a big factor for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. That's my pick.
All right. Great job. Shannon is on the
Thank you so
board
much.
with Thomas. Okay. And we have a run on 3 people from the same purple tribe so far. Liana, are you ready to make it 4?
Hell yeah, baby.
Oh my
Let's do
God.
this.
Funny.
I'm drafting Joe.
No.
Wow.
Dad.
Yep.
Let's
I
just
don't
drop my
know.
tribe.
Something about him. Maybe it's because he called Mike Oprah. Maybe it's because he called Gabler Diggler.
Diggler.
There are so many reasons why. I don't know. Joe's interview just really stood out to me. I think similar to other members of the draft, I'm going on vibes. And there was something about his energy that I just really, really liked. I've been loving what I'm seeing in the promo material from him. So I feel that whether or not Joe does or does not win the season, he will be a big character. And I am excited to see all of that character brought to the screen.
Okay. Let's look at Joe.
I love Joe. I was driving in my car and I was listening to his interview and I was grinning from ear to ear because Joe, oh my God, his prep that he said he did for Survivor was incredible. He said, yeah, I just watched all the tribal councils back to back with no context.
Yeah.
I just wanted to pick
Amazing.
up on tails. And I was like, you go, Joe.
And the
then he said-
challenges, I think
he
he
watched
said.
all the challenges.
The tribals.
But my thing is that the one thing he really, anybody who loves Mike Bloom is a person that I just have to root for, right? And he was obsessed with Mike. He was just like,
Yes.
Mike, you're so great. I'm
Who
like,
isn't?
yes, speak. And
Yes.
it just came off very like empathetic and like he really wants to make social connections with people. Also, doesn't hurt that he looks like he's a strong guy. So I think he's gonna be around. I think he's gonna be a very fun pick. He reminds me of like Stan Mike Turner from back in the day. Y'all remember him?
Of course.
Yeah, except I think Mike was like probably a little bit more edgy than we thought he was going to be in the game. I'm hoping Joe can find some of that because he could have a good run in him.
The issue for me is like when I'm rewatching the episodes to like analyze them for the podcast, you know what I watch? Rewatch, not the challenges, and largely like not tribal council. Like I go to like the camp scenes. Like I think Rob said this in the kickoff, like the important
Yeah.
stuff.
But you know,
so I
I have to
probably would do
say
the opposite.
that when I heard him tell that, and I did say that at first, that I feel like it made a little bit more sense when he said it, that he felt like that you could, like, if you were like looking at how people are acting at different things, you know, I got the tribal council part of it a little bit more than the challenge part of it.
Tribal makes a lot more sense. The challenges, like I barely want to watch them the first time. You know, rewatching that, like that's not where I would go. But I did otherwise like Joe, but I had questions about that and mostly that.
You know what
I
prevents you
also-
from going to tribal council? Winning challenges, baby.
Well, hopefully, because all of our draft picks are on his tribe, so I do hope that
so
is true.
let's go.
Yeah.
Come on, Loggy.
I also have questions for Joe
No.
because he has some strange pet peeves.
Okay.
First of all, different ways of describing rude people, selfish people, mean people, right? But he also talks about basically acting like a butthole, which is just another way of describing, I think, the same thing. But he also talks about people who don't make eye contact apparently peeve him, which I think is not a very nice thing to be peeved about. But then the most concerning for me, bad hugs.
I'm sorry, Taryn. I agree with this man. What
Bad
is
hugs.
what's worse than a bad hug? You know, like,
Yeah.
I just feel like it's a hug. It's supposed to.
Chappelle,
It's supposed to
sometimes
mean
it's kind of
something.
hard to hug you. You're so tall.
Okay. Thanks. I
Listen
agree.
to her. Look at how she's playing the game. Do you see
She
what I
is.
see?
Oh my God, I would have drafted
Who
her if I had
wants
the
to hug
chance.
this man?
Me.
If they're gonna be like, man, he's gonna be judging me on my hug capabilities. Right?
Are you a bad hugger?
And if
Yeah.
you're insecure about your hugs, just say
Hugs
so.
are not the space to be like, ooh, sorry, you didn't give me a good one there. Ooh.
Taryn,
You
I
think
owe
he's
you a hug.
providing constructive feedback right when it happens?
Yeah,
Right in the
7 out
moment,
of
like
10.
yeah.
Lasts too
Get off
long.
me. Get off
7
me.
out of 10.
Yuck.
It's interesting that Taryn is an insecure hugger. Are you guys picking up on that as well?
Well, I guess we all need
I'm
to hug
actually
Taryn
a
when
pretty
we
great
see her.
hugger, I will say so myself.
Well,
I
hug
believe
Joe
I
and
did
let
that.
him tell you.
Right. We have a professional hugger
I
on
am
the
unafraid
podcast.
to face the judgment of Joe, but he shouldn't be judging.
Apparently,
way
his wife was in the WNBA.
What? Who's his
I
wife?
didn't know that.
Has anyone
Yeah,
noticed how
yeah.
Taryn will take like a victory sip when he thinks he makes a point?
He ate that.
Vote him out.
I put him first. I'm just saying.
Sips tea. He ate that. Go ahead.
All right.
Go off,
I'm
Tam.
done now.
Okay, I think for me it was a pretty good pick. Would it have been in my top picks? Probably not, but was it in like that second tier that like had he fallen to me, I would have taken around the second round? Yes, I think so.
Joe seems like such a sweet guy to be out there on the island. I think that the question is, like, does he have like a cutthroatness? It seems like he has a big heart. He's going to be great in the challenges. I just wonder if he's going to have the strategic game as well, but he seems like a solid pick here at number 4.
I'm very concerned about him strategically. Very concerned.
We don't talk enough on this draft about what people turn into when they're hungry. Because I think that matters.
Yes.
Asia, as someone who just came off the island, what were you like when you were hungry? Did you feel hangriness in your time?
I just had zero patience. Which is my stomach was eating itself. And so when that's happening, you don't have capacity for extraness. So I think it's interesting. Joe is a buff guy.
But to be fair, you were with some extra people.
Yes. True.
Yeah. All right. Puya did not get his number 1 pick in Shaheen. He will get a consolation prize with the number 5 pick.
Pick someone from this tribe, though. That's what we're doing.
It's kind of sexy.
Yeah.
There are
Shannon,
two
the
people
days
left
where I
from this
listen to
tribe.
you are long over. I'll have you know, please
Star
not tell
and
me what to
Eva
do.
are left.
You have
from
2
this
of
tribe.
Star and Eva from this tribe, and then we go to the next tribe. That's what we're doing right now.
I just want the person I pick, if they're listening or they find out, to know you're not a consolation pick. You're not Shaheen, but he's Persian. So allow it. Okay. I'm going to go with Kyle. I'm picking Kyle here.
Damn it. I was going to pick Kyle.
Oh, Kyle was my
sorry,
second
Chappelle.
other pick. That makes me upset.
Well, I mean, I felt
Big
like I
apologies.
came down here. I was like, hopefully he just stays on this purple tribe and I can pick Kyle.
I thought of it for the bit, but then I was like, I can't. I don't want to do that.
No,
that would be crazy.
I would
I
go
would
through rank so fast.
If I had lost another one, I may have crashed out real. Like, it would have been bad for me. So anyway, here's the thing with Kyle. I loved everything I heard from him. I feel like he understands people. I feel like I like one of my favorite things is when people, when he referenced Keith Nail as his favorite moment, and then this like specific niche Dr. Mike line from 35. I was like, this is someone who appreciates the little details and the little things on the show, but I also get the vibe that he understands what game is ahead of him. Even, saying that he read an interview with Malcolm a couple years ago where he talked about them. Like, he's someone who has a good head for the game, and I feel like he's going to be able to present that in a non-threatening manner. I also feel like, and this part, feel free to correct me because I did not end up listening to all of the roundups you did with Mike after the fact, so I don't know exactly when they described who they liked, who they were.
Puya, do your
But I got
homework.
the vibe that quite a few people liked Kyle, and even if they're not on his tribe, I'm okay with that because I feel like that kind of likeness can go a long way.
Yeah, I feel like he wasn't mentioned a ton, but I don't think anybody was disliking him.
Yes, I will take that as well.
I'm upset about this. I was very close between Thomas and Carl. They were very much my top 2, but I knew Carl wouldn't fall back to me because I think he was a really clear pick. He just seems like he's a very like stable pick, like 30 years old. He's a lawyer. He seems smart, but he seems also really versatile, like strong enough, but not necessarily someone that you're going to hugely target for that reason. Like, he's right in that sweet spot. So you're so welcome, Puya. This is a great pick. Jay has pointed out in the chat that you said as well on our recap yesterday, 5 is your favorite number. I gave you what you wanted. You got a great pick. Everyone is happy.
You can listen. You can move the story however you want, but I've declared you'll see in the future drafts. Let's just put it that way.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Kyle was
Great
also
pick.
a top pick for me. He gave one of my favorite answers to the Mike Bloom question of how have you been preparing for this game? Because a lot of people talk about, I've been swimming, I've been making fire, blah, 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 whatever. He talks about actually social maneuvers and social relationships. Like, one of his answers is, if at work, I'm pretending I'm playing Survivor. If I were out there on the island, how would I handle this social situation? And I love that. I think that's so fantastic. I think also the delineation that he mentions about Wendell versus Dom, I think that was very astute. I just really loved everything that I saw from Kyle. And if I hadn't picked Joe, I would have picked Kyle.
Yeah, great pick. He sounds like
Yeah,
Asia,
this is-
always playing the game.
This is where I am with the pet peeves on this draft, is that he has perhaps one of the better ones with just a single word. That's just all styrofoam.
Same.
What is like? What's the issue with styrofoam?
Well, it would have
sound.
been lovely if he had
What's
described
Or
more,
the
you know?
touch.
Liana
Could be
knows.
the
so mean.
environmental implications.
Oh right,
Yeah.
environmentally. Okay, I'm sorry. I care about the
Oh, that's
total.
also the
really
reason
do.
I don't like styrofoam. Yeah, for sure.
Yes, okay, I thought about that too. I think about the environment all the time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Kyle was high on my list too. He just has a contagious smile. He just seems like such a nice guy. What does he say in the he's like he's the best average guy or something
Yeah,
like
he
that.
talks about he's average in so many different ways. He's a
Yeah.
perfect like
Right.
medium threat.
Which is
That's
where
brilliant.
you need to be. He also loves
Mm.
dogs as well, so I have to love that.
Can I just say, you've all been very kind about this pick, and it's making me feel a little less sad.
Yeah.
So
You
thank
just
you.
won the draft, I think. Like now that I'm hearing it, I'm like, I really wanted Kyle.
The villain arc that would rise if I win by not getting Shaheen Shannon would be wild.
Yeah. I think Kyle is a very nice, solid pick. I
Yeah.
think that he is, as we mentioned, really like average to above average in almost every category that you could want. I mean,
Except for a smile.
except for
Really
a
good
smile.
smile. It's a good
Yeah.
smile.
Above
Better
way
than
above
average.
smile.
Yeah.
But
Thought it was
I
a
think that,
drive-by.
that maybe the issue is that he doesn't have a flaw, which is something that could help give him some camouflage.
You know, whenever anyone says that in The Bachelor, like this guy just doesn't have a flaw. They're gonna get engaged to them. They'll break up 3 months later, but they're gonna be the pick. I noticed that. When the issue is they don't have a flaw, that's actually pretty good apparently. So that's very good for Kyle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and one last thing, I swear maybe this is like the third to last time I'll bring up me playing, but I did play with someone who also lied about being an attorney. And I think there is something to that. People always say that it doesn't matter, but we've seen these people go far. Like, look how well Genevieve did. I saw it early,
Yeah.
but I think that could help Kyle by lying about it.
Asia, don't shy away from talking about when you played Survivor, okay? Bring
Okay.
that into the podcast.
For sure. Because we need something to make fun of you for. So, like,
Let me go ahead and show it more. There we go.
Okay. All right. So there's Kyle, pick number 5. Okay. Chappelle has not picked yet. And Chappelle will pick twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is tough, obviously, because a lot of really good picks are off the board. And so I am not going to go to the Purple Tribe. Just because I think y'all have gone and got the shining stars that I won't say that. There is definitely there's some
No
great
pun
things on the,
intended.
yeah, look, we're gonna get to my queen later on. But right now, I think I'm gonna go with Say. Say Hughley, I think, is gonna be my first pick because I think that Say's interview with Mike, obviously, because those are my faves that I listen to, was really good. She sounds like somebody who I would enjoy rooting for. She's in marketing, and so I know she's gonna have people skills. I think she calls herself she's like super social or whatever, but also she got a little bit of like an edge to her, and I like that. I want to see somebody who's not afraid to mix it up, to make big moves, to play the game. Yeah, I think she sounded like somebody who, if given the screen time, she's going to be a very fun watch, and I want to have fun rooting for her.
She really loved Drea, huh?
She did. I feel like
Hey.
she was.
The
I was like,
people's
yeah,
champion.
yeah.
Drea.
Look,
Yeah,
She-
so much of that interview was about Drea. It's kind of all I can think about right now.
yeah. I mean, she said Marianne a few times as well.
She did say
And
Marianne,
you know,
yeah.
I do love Marianne more than you, obviously, Shannon, because I drafted her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very excited to see what she's able to do. I think that she's not going to be one of these people who is like shy of conflict. Like, I think that if there are some moves to be made, she will be steering some of them, and it might be at the detriment of other people's faves, and that's okay because I think she's going to go far.
Chappelle, what do you call locks? What's the other word for locks?
They call them dreads, but we don't really say that no more.
Oh, no. I was going for salmon. Sorry, salmon.
Oh, lock.
Like LOX.
Oh,
Asia. Where
I was
You was with me, Asia? Okay. We'll have to have
I was like, I also was going to comment on hair.
Yeah.
What is the basis of this question?
Yeah, why'd you ask me?
I needed
pet
to see
peeve.
if Chappelle pronounces the word salmon. That is one of her pet peeves.
Oh, she doesn't like the salmon.
Salmon.
I've never heard anyone say that in my lifetime.
It's salmon. Oh no, it's a very southern country ass thing that we do here in Texas sometimes. Salmon, yeah, like it's salmon. But no, I too share that pet peeve, please. Like I will screw up some other words, but that's one that I'll hold on to. So we have that in common.
I'm a little concerned for Vula in general, which is her starting tribe. And I do think that there could be some conflict early on this tribe. I think there are a lot of people who are very opinionated, Say is one of them. And I think that is going to make for absolutely fantastic TV. I hope that she's able to get in with an alliance, because I think if she can do that, she can make a deep run. But I am a little bit concerned for her just in the early few days of the game as things are being settled. But if she can find a pocket and an alliance to work with, I think that she can do really well.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how she maintains these cornrows, because if you know anything about black hair, cornrows are like the vacation hair, but you know that they'll last a couple weeks. And so I'm really curious, like being in the water, just like it, like usually if you see black women on here, like if it's not locks like myself, you have like just the loose like box braids, just the individual braids. So I'm very curious, but that's just my only personal curiosity.
So
but I do agree.
Planned ahead.
Yes, I do agree with you, Liana, and like her being very vocal. I mean, she's already been very vocal on social media.
Yeah.
So I think she's going to be somebody to watch on and off social media.
She does not shy from confrontation.
That put me off. I think the Twitter fingers. Look, Tony did that and won.
Somebody catch me up. What did she do?
She just be tweeting, you know.
Tweeting a lot.
See, I'm not
What are the
really on that
tweets?
app like
Engaging
that.
the fans.
Yes.
Well, let me go look at the tweets first before I lock this one in.
No, you lost. You lost.
I said I was joking.
No, I think it'll be interesting to see. I think she'll be fun to watch on the screen and off the screen. She's already proving so, like preseason. But I like the pick. She was definitely in my like top grouping.
Yeah,
okay.
We used to try and predict merch, but I feel like now everyone has merch, so that's kind of out the window. But you can try and predict Twitter. Again, Tony won while being all like, tweeting at Stephen Fishback, so it's possible, but it's kind of a red flag for me. But she's locked in.
I did not know. No, Salmon. I did not know that she was on the Twitter talking trash, which makes her even more intriguing to me. But I'm concerned now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else to say?
It's so good, Rob. Brilliant.
Okay. All right.
I can't wait to watch her.
Chappelle, you get a second pick here. First pick of the second round, the several overall.
Yeah. This is so tough. I just really don't like going this far behind everybody. I mean, dang, Shannon, thanks so much.
Consequences and actions.
Great. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I'm torn between two people. Actually, three. It's tough. It's tough.
Your last pick as well, because then you're not going to get another one.
I'm not going to get another one. Yeah, I'm just going to be handed one.
I know that feeling.
This person gives me a little bit like hidden chaotic energy. I know there's an insane person in there, and although they tried to hold it together, I could feel the crazy slipping out of this person, and I have to support Kevin in all his endeavors. Because although the interview was like, yeah, I can be chaotic, I feel like, nah, that's how I talk when I say I can be chaotic and I can be a mess. And so at this point, since we're going off vibes, I have to vibe out with Kevin. I think I'm gonna hang out on the Green Tribe a little bit longer.
You are, I guess, Team Chaos, but I do like Kevin a lot. Like, had he fallen to me, I feel like I could have picked him. It was like there was a lot of energy, but I felt like I did really on vibes alone. I really liked, like his story, his fandom. He just seems like a good time. So on vibes, I think he's a really good pick.
Thank you.
I think Kevin is a lot of fun. He really radiates positivity, and his smile is just electric. Seems like a really fun person to be around. He seems to really know the show particularly well. That I think he's sort of maybe low key, one of the more physically fit players on the season. So I think Kevin brings a lot to the table.
And I think that's hopefully going to help keep him around on green, which I am concerned about, as I've raised before. But I think that Kevin also you just kind of want to be around him. I don't know. That was the energy that I got when I listened to his interview. And I think that can speak for so much on Survivor. I think that he also talks about, wanting to create this family tree structure, which I'm here for as well. So I'm excited to watch Kevin play. I think it's a good pick.
I feel like my concern was they came in with like too many like hardcore plans. Like I'm like, let's be a little bit fluid. Like the things like the family tree that were like too intense. I will say
He had
maybe
some very fluid plans, Shannon.
It's a hydro
drink all the water. I'm still remembering what I binged. Okay, fine.
Don't
Fluid
miss
in
any
that
references.
way. There's
Don't miss
such good
any
references, Rob.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Brilliant. For Kevin, I just felt like the plans were a little bit too rigid. Other than even the water drinking plan, things like that. It's like he's coming in with like a lot of ideas. Maybe we need to cull it back, and maybe a worse watching schedule, or than we've seen from Joe, who was watching the challenges and tribal, but at least with sound. Kevin started watching the show silently, so that's probably a tough way to get into it, and he still did, though. He loved the show, so that's great.
I mean, he did talk about also being a bit paranoid, which could be not so great for him out there. But if he can, get it under control, be all the fluids, then maybe that can work out for him.
Yeah, he presented himself so he gave like a very good description of himself, and the whole time I kept thinking, oh, you're my type of crazy. Okay, let's ride it out. Let's do it.
I can't wait to see him get what does Jeff say, birthed into Survivor with the mud, because he seems like every hair in place.
Mm-hmm.
Like that'll be great to see him trying to get back to this look after going through that.
How was your birthing experience? How was it bursting through the placenta of Survivor?
It was okay. We did the whole buffs over the face thing. So I didn't get much. I didn't get any in my eyes or anything. It was deeply in my locks, not like salmon, but my locks. Yes. So did a lot of washing of my locks in the ocean. But yeah, the mud comes off.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else about Kevin?
Good pick. You're welcome, Chappelle.
Okay. All right. So 2 in a row for Chappelle, who will then ultimately not get the pick again until he receives the 18th and final player in the draft. Okay. Let's go to pick number 8. And for that, we're going to go back to Puya for number 8.
It's tough. I've been sitting here trying to figure out where my next move is, because it did dawn on me as well that I'm basically going to be making 2 picks at the end, one for me, one for Chappelle, and I don't know what we're going to be left with, so it's going to be a tough one. That being said, I appreciate you, man.
Could decide the grenade at the end of this thing. Don't go anywhere, anybody.
Wow.
Thanks, Rob.
You calling your shot? What is this, Rob?
What did we do to him? Is everybody okay?
I think you're doing great.
I kind of also want in on the Purple Tribe game that everyone else has been involved with. So I'm going to go in that direction. I am going to go ahead and pick Eva.
Okay.
Ooh.
Get Eva on the team. I really liked what I heard from Eva. I feel like she definitely, to me, comes off as a bit of a triple threat. Got the physical there, got a good mind there, got good social there. And I kind of gravitated towards the things where Eva was saying. There's quite a few relatable things in there for me. And I think she's going to get on well with quite a few people. Maybe age is the only factor I might be concerned with here, coming in as one of the younger players of the season. But I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be a factor or not, really. So we'll see.
She was going to be my next pick. So I mean, maybe it's the PhD bias, which I do feel for her on an NSF fellowship. So go girl. I hope you keep your funding. But anyway, I'm just like, I'm really drawn to the Purple Tribe, I think, just in general. And she was one of those people who I was drawn to. I think that she's had a lot of different experiences. And especially, I said this on the B&B, this is like a very masculine energy cast. And so I'm feeling like Ava will be able to sort of fill in with that cast and be able to do, to be able to create a lot of connections. So I feel really optimistic for her.
She has 2 pet peeves.
Okay.
One is lazy people, which I think is a bad pet peeve. Let's not perpetuate hustle culture here, you know?
That part. No, let him
Number
talk.
2.
Let him talk.
Number 2, wet socks.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Did she
That-
lie?
I hope she didn't bring socks then, because consistent.
Yeah, we never see those 2 things on Survivor: wet socks and lazy.
Lazy people.
Yeah.
Wet
Maybe
socks,
combined, I don't know.
Lazy people. Mhm.
How would that combine a lazy person wearing wet socks?
Oh,
Yeah, you're too lazy to take them off.
Her age is interesting because 23 is not that young, but this cast skews older. So I think
Right.
that is because how much younger is she than the next young person? Quite a lot. Like
on her tribe?
Far as 27, just in general, the whole cast.
Mm.
She's like
Yeah.
years younger than the next person. That might be not the vibe of this particular cast.
Let's
So
see.
that would be
Star is
interesting.
28, I believe. So she's
Oh,
only
probably
4
different.
years younger than her.
That's a lot of years to be that's the next youngest person, let alone like how, like how the cast is skewing. That would be my concern. But I think she brought a lot of other things. I think, I know Mike was high on her. Like she's obviously super physical, but then she's going to be like sneaky, really smart is the hope. So she's going to bring a lot of that. But I think like the biggest red flag is just how much younger she is than the rest of the cast.
Yeah, I think she brings like a little sister energy to the game. I do wonder if she is going to be cutthroat or really be able to, take advantage of like making any kind of big moves against others. I think she's definitely smart. She's definitely strong. I just do wonder if she's going to have a killer instinct out there.
She definitely gives me old school type player vibes because she talks about physicality. It's such a big deal with her. You can tell she's gonna bro down. She's gonna get with the muscle guys, and they're gonna try to run this thing at some point. And hopefully, if things happen and she gets to the merge, there will be bigger muscle guys around that are probably challenge threats that she could potentially hide behind. But yeah, she made it very clear the type of player that she's going to be and work with. And so I think it'll be fun to watch, but I don't know if it's a winning strategy, especially like you said, being so young, because now she has to sit next to somebody with a little bit more life experience at the end and, be able to articulate why she should win. And sometimes that's a lot harder than it seems.
Okay. Anything else on Eva?
No.
Okay.
Zippy.
All right.
It's been so
So-
zippy.
Liana,
Yes.
Don't take my
you
pick.
have pick number 9,
If someone I really want.
and we'll end the first half of the draft.
Yes. I don't know who Shannon's going to pick, but I don't care because I'm going to pick someone who just wants to be herself. My fellow open world crafting Stardew Valley playing gamer girl. I am picking Camilla from Canada. She was I listened to her interview. It was later in the list, but so I'd already gone through a ton of people, and she immediately stood back out to me as someone who I knew I wanted to draft. So I'm very grateful that she ended up on my team. She relates to Erica, which I think makes sense. There's a lot of comparisons there between a fellow winner. She also relates to Carolyn, which I absolutely. What? Why are you listening?
Don't worry about it. I'll tell you later.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh.
Yell at the rest of them. Okay, this is fantastic. I knew I'd
What do we
drafted
think
a
about
winner.
people being in the chat from what that means for their game? Like someone's gonna
I
be
just
pretty
love the
confident.
passion. Okay.
That's got to be a good sign.
I think also there's another thing that stood out to me about her was, she had talked about this vision that she had of who she was, which is she was this very logical person and realized she was emotional. And I can totally relate to that and like learning who you are and learning to navigate the world. And I don't know how that's going to translate into Survivor, but I really want her on my team. So I picked her.
Real.
Yeah.
She was my other top pick, if not for Shaheen. She was honestly the person I thought I was going to pick because I didn't expect to be number 1.
Why? What about the years of work you put into our relationship, Taryn?
Well, I didn't even think about it. I'm just so used. I just auto assume I'm going to be like 5th.
No.
She has one of the best pet peeves by far. One of the only good ones in the entire cast. People who message me, hello, or can I ask you a question without
Yes.
actually asking their question until I respond. Every time this happens, I lose a year off my life.
Yep.
I'm dead now.
This is
Yeah.
relatable.
That's so
Yes.
good. Oh, that's
So relatable.
incredible. People aren't giving enough voice to the fact, like, and I think parents do it a lot. They'll message you and you're like, has someone died? What? No, tell me right now. You know, like that. Yeah, that is really stressful. Amazing pet peeve. Really glad it's been stated.
Great
Yeah,
explanation.
Yeah.
I love this pick. I would have picked her as well. So
Yeah, she calls out
did
Marianne
it again,
in her bio.
Liana, taking my picks.
As is
Yeah.
tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah, Camilla is a lot of fun. I think she's going to be a very big character on the season. She's somebody, she knows the show especially well. She's watched all of the seasons, and I think that she wants to stir up a little chaos, Liana.
We love a chaos queen.
She wants a very fluid season and is looking to, create a lot of excitement. Doesn't want it to be a boring season.
See, that's what we want. We want to make good TV. Maybe she can hook up with Kevin later on once they hit the merge and have truly the most fluid season of all.
I just
Fluid
can't wait for
and
Jeff
chaotic.
to say, okay, your tribe's going to run to the left of this. And she's like, wait a second.
Look, we all have our weaknesses, okay?
No, I'm really excited to watch her. She seems so she seems like she has a great personality. I feel like she's going to be, I don't know why I feel like she'll be like comedic relief. But I do also feel like she'll
I
be
definitely get
strategic
that
as
from
well.
her too.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Seems like everyone's getting picks they want. You're all so welcome. I'm a benevolent queen. Not Puya, unfortunately.
Or
That wasn't on me though. That was Taryn.
Don't get me wrong. What way it look like? Oh, anyway, yeah, Camilla.
Not
This
Camilla.
is like a great pick. My issue with Camilla, obviously, she's a small. She's very small, and I don't. These smaller tribes will lend you to being like, we lost one challenge, we got to get rid of the small person, and I don't think that's fair to her because I think that, like you said, of all the bios, I think hers was by far the most entertaining. I think that we're gonna get good TV from her, and she's gonna make sure of it, and that's what I want. Like, if she's like, I don't want boring gameplay. I think she'd rather the game be exciting and her lose than to play a boring game, and I can kind of vibe with that too.
What if the rest of her tribe is just tall? Do we know for a fact
She
she's
has
small?
Giga Chat on her tribe. Okay, they're gonna be
I mean,
fine.
she said she was 5'1", so
Oh, okay,
no,
okay.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it wasn't
That seems
just like
pretty
the whole
fair.
scale was
Yeah.
thrown off like she said that.
no.
Yeah.
Her
she's-
tribe
she's-
is with Kyle, David, Mitch, Chrissy, and Charity.
yeah.
Yeah.
So she does have some pretty good physical competitors on the tribe with her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just would like to say I'm so happy for 48 that they got their tribe photos.
Oh,
Yes,
Go
why
on.
they didn't do some
I
tribe
never
photos
saw
for
them.
but they took them?
Maybe they were really, really, really bad and could never see the light of day.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they were doing you a favor.
Okay.
No.
Does anybody else have any thoughts on Camilla?
She wasn't the pick. No offense, Camilla, in the chat that I was holding thumbs for. So
would
great
say
pick
that.
for you. I have a
Wow.
certain person in mind. Camilla, you seem great. Excited to watch you on this season.
we
Okay.
haven't said it aloud, but Canadians do be Canadian
That's
these days.
Exactly.
So
Look, they've got a great track record in the new era.
Shannon, you're not doing well with
Shout out
size
again to
pet
Genevieve.
peeves because she says she doesn't like people who say not to be offensive but and then proceed to offend you. So
Oh, I hate doing that. I'm so sorry. Did I do that? I didn't mean. Oh, I that's a pet peeve of mine. I'm annoying to myself.
Okay. First half of the draft is done. The back half begins. Shannon, you have the 10th pick
Yeah.
overall.
I'm really happy because there's
Who
a
will you
couple
add to
people
your
I-
team with Thomas?
Yeah, there's a couple of people I've wanted who have fallen to me. So the draft order has gone well for me so far. And I think for me as well, it's like getting the pressure off being the only person who hasn't won the draft. You haven't won. You suck. Everyone won but you. 7 people, 6-person draft, etc., etc. And that was a lot of pressure. Now I'm like, I can have some picks for me. I really, really like this person and I want them on my team. So
a guy, Shannon. Oh, I'm sorry. I was
It's
just
not a
shocked. By
guy.
you.
It's
Okay.
not a guy.
Whew.
It's not a guy. A lot of the
Not
men
anymore.
could take it, actually. Look, this is someone new. This is someone I really wanted on my team who I thought could fall to me. I really liked her interview. Really funny. A fellow 30-something Jewish woman. I went to her Instagram and I saw her post about her cat who had passed away, a rescue cat. And I thought, this is a woman I can vibe with. And if I'm going off vibes, I'm picking Stephanie.
Good pick.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about Stephanie.
She looks like a Survivor winner. I like when other people's interviews, Shannon, were saying like, "Who's the blonde lady? I want to work with her." You know, like it feels like they had that magnetic energy just even in the pregame.
Some may say Sparkle. And you know what vibe I got? Now, it's a very high bar, and I'm not saying she has to reach this bar because this is a tall order, although I think she is tall.
She's tall.
Yes, but the vibe I got was like a Genevieve. I remember really liking Genevieve's interview as well. And that's the kind of energy I felt that I just really liked.
Bryce would tell you this is the traditional Survivor winner picture pose.
As well, yes.
Power photo.
Yeah.
She ate.
It's a good pick and pick.
She has spreadsheets, I believe. Also, Shannon, I believe she has a lot of data.
You hear me, and she was talking about how she does the preseason for her drafts, and I was like, I see myself in you. Now that's bad, obviously, for Survivor, but I think it's better than me. So yeah, I mean, at pick 10, I think Stephanie might have some sparkle to her. I think this is a great pick. That's all golf clap for me.
I like Stephanie. She seems like she is just like, she's carefree. She's unapologetically herself. I think it'll be so fun just to see her, like, how she navigates this tribe. And then, you know, she makes it deep. It'll be very interesting just to see, because I can't predict how she's going to play. I don't know why. I think it's because she is like, she has such a bold personality. I don't know if she's going to dial it back or she's just going to be like, look, take me as I am. So she's kind of an unknown to me, but I love her personality.
Okay. Does anybody not feel as strongly about Stephanie?
Well, I like the fact that she brought up that not everyone can play the same game. You have to play to your particular strengths. And so I think that is a really good recognition. The thing is that I never really heard her say like, and these are my strengths and this is how I'm going to play this type of game to, you know, fulfill my destiny of winning. I think that she's definitely a really fun personality. She got a ton of attention in the preseason, but then also for the same reasons that we're going to talk about why preseason heat is maybe not such a good thing. I think that this could also backfire for Stephanie as well. She was sort of middle of my draft board.
Yeah, she went 10th. So that's pretty good in the end.
She doesn't
I felt like she would fall.
She doesn't like it when people step on her flip-flops, on the back of her flip-flops.
It is annoying.
Yeah, that's so legit. That's so
She
legit and specific.
also doesn't like QR code menus in restaurants.
I get that too, to be honest. It's hard to make changes.
It's a little
Then you're like, do I Zoom? I got to close out the app? It is pretty difficult sometimes.
I like her because she feels like she would be fun to hang out with. She loves reality TV, and I know we all share that love. And she was talking about Love is Blind in her bio. She was talking about, like, all her references were just so niche of, like, television references. Even her poverty reference of, like, is this kosher? You know, like, those things. I said, okay, I wouldn't vote her out at any time because I would be wanting to hang out with her even more. And I think that if she can find her people, then she's good.
Y'all, I mean, y'all were spot on. Like, that is a good... Going back to the pose, that is a really good pose because, you know, I know Bryce has a thing with the thumbs.
No thumbs.
I tried to hide my thumbs, and they were like, "We can't see your thumbs."
Like, oh, leave me alone.
They cursed you.
Dang it!
And in that moment, the die was cast.
That's when my fate was decided. Yeah.
Yeah.
Asia, but with the photo, do you have a lot of freedom in terms of like where you get to place your hands in terms of like how you're going to pose, like, or do they pose?
Yeah, he has suggestions though. Like if I started with one hand, he's like, "Okay, let's try the other one. Let's try this. Let's try that." Yeah. So I wasn't really sure what was going to come out, but even like digging my toes in the sand, he's like, "Come on, just stand on top of it." You know, I was trying little things, but yeah, there's a lot of direction.
All right. Any other thoughts on Stephanie?
Good pick.
Good pick.
Okay. Let's go to now back to Asia for Asia's second pick to add to the team with Bianca.
All right, I'm going to stay on the same tribe, the green tribe. This is actually the second person that I wanted. So I'm kind of surprised. I'm like, what don't I know? Because I am going off vibes. Like I said, I got great vibes from Cedric.
Cedric.
Oh, Cedric.
Hey.
There was 3 ways you could have gone. And I'm
Oh, Cedric. Yes. I'm so excited.
Okay. Asia, tell us about Cedric.
So Cedric's 45. He's from South Carolina, and he is a surgeon. He does a lot of, like, from what I've seen on social media, he's like a surgeon who talks on TV as well. So I'm getting well spoken. He seems like a very likable guy, a family man. He has that power stance as well. He wants to play like Earl Cole and Suri. So that seems like a
Good
nice
combo.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Fun fact, I was on a flight at some point during the casting process, and I can't even remember. It was some point during time frame where I didn't tell somebody for some reason. I didn't tell people about this, but I was sitting next to somebody who's really close friends with Earl Cole.
Really?
Is this
She's
one
like,
of
"Oh, yeah, like
the
my friend
random
was Cedric?
people that you have communication
Well,
with on
We
flights?
talked the entire
Yeah.
flight, and somehow it came up. I never mentioned Survivor, but somehow it came up. She's, "Oh yeah,
Were
I
you
had
wearing a
friend."
buff?
No,
Wait, was that
That's how they
person
knew.
Sacra? No.
yeah, I don't know if I said like, "Oh, I'm a podcaster," and then listed the shows. Maybe I think so. Maybe I did mention Survivor, but it wasn't like, "Oh,
Mhm.
I'm gonna play Survivor."
Yeah.
It wasn't that at all. And she mentioned, I was like, "What a small world," you know. But yeah, I really like him. He seems like a really likable guy, and if he can find his footing, I could see him doing really well.
Yeah, he was my next pick. He was a top 5 pick for me. I thought he might fall back to me because I thought people might overlook him, but I loved his interview. Like, he's got an incredible career. As much as I know Mike's going to be making butt puns, he's a surgeon, Mike. Let's all have some decorum. And I think, again, like with the cast skewing a little bit older, it's a great cast for him. He seemed great, and I was really hoping to get him on the swing, so that's a bit unfortunate. But I know we're all being really positive, but the thing is that a lot of these people actually have good qualities. It was quite an even cast, but Cedric was a top 5 pick for me.
My issue
A
with
top
Cedric.
5 pick?
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, yeah, he was.
Sorry, that sounds
That's how
so
much I
mean,
wanted
but-
him. Yeah,
Right. Like,
I've also
Get on the Cedric train.
Yeah.
my issue with Cedric is that he's almost too normal for his tribe. Like, he's surrounded by insane people, and he's like, "I'm very normal. I do this. I do this. I do this. I'm a scientist. Blah blah blah." And he seemed very put together. And I'm like, what the hell is he gonna do when Kevin pulls up? You know? And don't get me started on my girl Mary. You know, like, these people are not gonna be. They're not gonna have the time to be listening to Cedric trying to reel people in. The thing about Earl was that Earl was also surrounded by crazy people, and he was able to reel them in. He had dreams in his alliance. Yao man, he was surrounded by insane folk. It is hard to do that. And so I don't know if Cedric is going to be like trying to keep this crew together, but they're going to be a hard group to wrangle. And I just felt like he might fall victim to some of the chaos that is this Vula tribe. Liana, I know you were pretty worried about the Vula tribe. You think Cedric could be an early boot out of that tribe?
I don't know if he's necessarily going to be an early boot. I think he could potentially be the voice of reason in amidst the chaos, right? If you sort of have more vocal people sort of going after each other. So I think he could be okay early. I just, I have concerns for him interacting with all of these wacky characters, right? Because the people that he's used to interacting with on a daily basis are sort of a certain type. And so to come out here and play with these really interesting people, I think that it's going to be very different for him. So it might be a little bit of fish out of water, but I do think that he can probably keep calm, carry on. And as long as he doesn't get caught up in some pre-merge weak tribe, non-disaster tribe nonsense, I think that he could make the merge.
He stays ready so he doesn't have to get ready.
Boom.
Exactly.
It's the thing. You got to every time.
Look at his 3 words: dependable, determined, and conscientious. Like, he's too normal. It's true, but like that might be a good thing. That might be fine.
Yeah, I could see him being the voice of reason of this bunch.
Yes.
He's also older than all of them, I believe. It's like he was talking about in his interview how like a lot of his job is like educating older people about, you know, their health benefits and stuff like that. He talked about his very personal story as well with that. And I'm like, that's cool for the older people, but what are you gonna do when the chaotic kids show up, and I think
They're
he's
on it.
surrounded by a lot of the chaotic.
Very old cast.
They're younger than him, and I think they're very much more chaotic than him on his
Kevin's
tribe,
34. Look at his
and
tribe.
he's 45.
Well, the youngest is
46.
30 or 29. Sorry, Justin. On it. Like, there's not a. He's fine. Okay, got some adults
Okay.
here.
Okay, my bad.
But you said, as you said, he's been on TV and stuff, so he must have like some charisma.
Yeah, he does a medical reporter for news. I love Cedric. That I feel like I could listen to him talk all day long, and I think he's a very fun person to have on the show.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Okay. All right. We're back to Taryn.
Back to me.
Her first of 2 picks for Taryn. The final pick of the second round and the first pick of the third round.
Well, listen.
And read those bios. You can see his eyes moving. Speed reading.
Get off his back.
Let me keep my eyes stationary for you, Shannon. So my next pick, Shannon, is specifically designed, I think, because I really wanted to share my winnings, like share my winningness in general. That's why I picked the grenade on the season, where I also picked the winner, so that we could all share, we could all have a win. And so
I did that too. It was nice.
In that regard, I think it's only fitting that I choose charity.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
What?
Now,
Do you think she's gonna be the grenade?
No, it's just a
No,
But
she's
he's
gonna
giving
be
charity because
Yeah.
Oh,
Terrible.
guys, I'm sorry. I don't have any. I'm
Really-
sorry.
We
It's
need
not
to
any of
rehearse
you.
these references
I'm
beforehand because
telling you, I
it's
got
getting out
no
of control.
sleep, and I've been covering Australian Survivor, and there's no space.
you're doing great.
Oh my
Shannon.
God, Shannon's covering Australian Survivor. She hasn't mentioned it yet.
Have I
Let me get
mentioned
it.
it?
I would think a lot of the viewers are going to be surprised to see Charity fall to pick number 12 in
Yeah,
the
the chat
draft.
was
I feel like
mad.
that Charity is a pretty trendy winner pick for the season.
Really? Is that what
Well,
the
that's
streets
nice.
is saying? That's what's up.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
she is not fond of when people, which I love this clarification. She doesn't say people who, she says when people don't use headphones in public and blast their phones on full volume.
Ugh,
Hate
that's
that.
annoying.
That is true.
I-
That's really annoying.
I recently picked up biking or cycling, however you want to call it,
Wow.
riding a bike. And I didn't have my headphones. And so I was just playing the music out loud. Is that the same thing?
Oof,
It's
that is-
quick. Like
yeah.
it's like,
It's
phew,
cramping.
you know.
Asia.
We'll have to have a talk.
I don't
after
know.
this intervention.
This is up to charity.
Asia
whether she's
Wealth
gonna be
doesn't have
charitable.
headphones.
I forgot them. I forgot them.
Yeah,
at
but I
home.
think if you forget them at that point, like you can't listen to it. Like that,
Take the L.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
unfortunate. At
Maybe
that
not
point.
at the volume
Yeah.
you would normally listen.
No
Mm.
volume. Don't
Okay.
listen. You'd have to
Okay.
listen the same way that Kevin watches Survivor without sound.
Mm.
All right, but
Yeah.
Taryn, tell us about Charity.
Well, she talks about like really, she feels like a person who is very determined, very bold, and is going to be like coming at something really hard. And I think that that's what it takes to win the game. She has to be very focused. You have to be very focused to win. She really likes working out. She seems very physically fit. And I think that like she has an aura, a vibe that feels very, I think, approachable, yet like don't mess with me. You know what I mean? I think that's a good vibe.
She's
She's
has a cool
also
story as well.
yeah.
And she's also been successful in like her own fitness business. So she does seem like a bit of a winner.
She's a flight attendant, which there was also a flight attendant on 47 who was very likable, Tiana.
Mhm.
Which I wonder if she used that to her ability pregame, because pregame Tiana was very smiley, and I thought it was specifically to me, and I was like, "Oh, we're gonna hit it off," and then I found out she was flight attendant and was doing that with everybody. But I wonder if Charity has that like personality that's just like, oh, just on initial meeting, like, oh, I'm very like jovial, very nice.
Survivor flight attendants have historically done well. T-Bird, Todd, I think Tina Weston spent
Or
time
Todd.
as a flight
Mhm.
attendant.
And there was also an Australian Survivor winner who was a flight attendant. It makes sense. Like, it's like the service worker aspect, but also when people are like probably at their absolute worst, which is probably in itself a low bar, when people are like however long into traveling and you have to just like have patience and be congenial. It does make sense if flight attendants do well. Maybe that's the profession people should be lying about instead of like lawyer.
Well, I think on top of that, she also started her own business where she works individually, like one-on-one with clients. So she's
Yes.
continuing in this service
true.
profession, essentially, where she's working with people, getting to know people. I love that drive from her. I just really, really enjoyed her energy. I need her to stick around also to give everyone nicknames. That's very, very important to me. So I'm hoping that Charity can stick around.
She strikes me as the flight attendant that don't take no guff. You know, like they're like you know, T-Bird is the come on down, I got you. Now Charity is the one where it's like, sir, sit down, sit in your seat, put your seatbelt. The seatbelt light is on. Like she'll smile and laugh, but when it's time to get things in line, she is going to be the one. And that's why I kind of was worried about her, because we've seen in the new era, the people who kind of emerge as leaders are the ones who get chopped down. And I don't want her to be one of those people who have to like stand out so early on to where when we start shooting at people, she's the first one to catch a bullet. And so that's why I was concerned about Charity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and looking at her tribe, I have a hard time kind of putting her or grouping her with people that like she'll click like that on first glance you would think, oh, they'll get along really well. But maybe she just gets along with everybody. She could end up doing really well.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on Charity? Okay. All right, Taryn, you have a second pick in a row here.
Yeah, and I have two options. And I've been thinking about it, and I went with Charity because I felt like her name fit my vibe. Mm-hmm. And so ultimately, I think I should stick with my theme here. We all know that I am the star of this podcast. So I think it's only fitting that Star is also on my team.
Queen.
I don't think she was going to fall to last, Chappelle.
I was praying.
Very unlikely.
When I tell you, her grandmother named her Star, that's a wise grandma. That's a wise grandma. She knew what she did. She's like, she knighted her. Like, you are a star. And then boom, a star arose. Taryn, I love this pick.
Was born, some might say.
Mm-hmm.
She has some very good pet peeves. One questionable one. She started teeth grinding. Mm-hmm. Okay. Bugs that buzz. Oh. Fantastic pet peeve. Very specific, but also it's like you immediately understand, right? Bugs that don't buzz, not as bad. Bugs that buzz, very annoying. Beyonce haters. Speaks for itself. The questionable one for me, Harry Potter haters.
No, she's right. Well, it depends at the moment. Actually,
right.
There might be I don't think she means it
Shannon.
like that though, but that's legitimate. Fine.
I feel like that one requires further clarification.
Yes. I don't think that's what she means. I think it's yes. They're like, okay, immediately rectified.
But yeah, I mean, just again, I feel like just good vibes. She feels very sociable. Somebody who is going to be very like extroverted and like win over allies. And I think that's like a very good sign here for Star.
I love her energy. She just pops off the screen. It's what Chappelle said. She is a star. My concern is how is she going to work with the rest of the members on her tribe? Like that is just the big sticking point that I keep going back to when I predict if they go to tribal first, is she going to be able to integrate well? I really, really hope so. And I think if she can have a couple days, I think she'll be able to make some really strong connections. And her energy just radiates off the page. But I think that's another concern when it comes to winner, right? We talk about these big targets all out in front. And I think that she is someone who could stand out in a way that she starts getting close to the end. People are like, are we really? Literally, her name is Star. Are we going to let her get to the end? She is a star.
Yeah, people lie about the profession. Maybe she should have lied about her name. This is the first name that might actually make her threatening, but she might be a sparkly person.
Gladys. This is
Yeah,
Gladys.
A twinkly person.
No one's voting out Gladys. I do agree. I think her interview was a roller coaster for me because it was like, who you most like? And she said Marianne. I'm like, I'm liking this. But then they said, what's your favorite moment in Survivor history? And she said, when Chris won from the edge of extinction. And I was like, where have we gone? So pros and cons. I think a lot of pros. And I think that's probably where Star sits for me. I think it could go either way.
I thought you were gonna say something, Chappelle.
I'll let you go.
Okay, shout out to the locks, but I hope
part.
that she doesn't have the
Damn it.
same fate as other people that have had locks, like Sabaya, myself, JD. I hope she's more of a Danny, you know.
Star, you are my people. If you get voted out first, you don't have to give up anything. Come find me at the live show in Boston, and we will celebrate how far you've gotten to the game. Regardless, Star, you are
Chappelle
great.
will take the grenade if that happens. Yeah, that's
If
what I heard.
it's Star, I'll be willing to discuss it.
Well, that's the hope, right? I mean, Puya, you must be hoping that one of these last two picks for Taryn is the grenade so that Shaheen can still win, but you
I
can
think he's
still win
hoping
the
you get
draft.
the grenade.
No, yeah, if I would listen, Taryn winning 2 times with Shaheen, I'd be happy for him. Easy.
What?
Wow.
Guys, that's not
Yeah.
the vibe of the draft. I don't think you guys understand what's
No,
going
we're
on
all
here.
rooting against you now.
I gave you all the picks that you've enjoyed. You've liked where you are.
No, I want it to be higher.
Well, should have thought of that before all that stuff you did.
Okay.
Okay, Taryn has a fully stocked team now with
Great team.
Shaheen and Charity and Star. Taryn is
Good
locked
team.
in.
It is a
Great
good
team.
team. Sam and Din, yes.
Okay.
There's one person I really want still, and Asia. This is it.
Well, Asia could be the one
Do it,
person
Asia.
standing in between you and the person
Don't do it.
you really want.
Don't
Asia,
do
you
that.
took so much
Okay.
from me last year. Give me this.
Okay. Okay, I'm between 2 people on the Orange Tribe. So is it the Siva tribe?
Yes.
Okay. Then the 2 people are the guys. Just trying to read. Shannon, did you hold back a face there? Okay.
She's fighting for her life, Asia. You got on the
Right.
Got a
Mhm.
great poker face.
Okay.
I
I'm
think
just
there's a couple of good picks that are still left on the board in this last.
There's still
5.
one that I think is fantastic.
okay. Taryn, your team is done. So I think I'm gonna go with a fellow Texan. I'm gonna go with Mitch.
Hey,
Okay.
shout
Asia,
out.
tell us about Mitch.
So Mitch lives in Waco. He is 34. He's a PE coach. But if you can also tell from social media, he's a runner. He's
Mhm.
a CrossFitter. He cares about his fitness. He described himself as joyful, relational, and competitive. So I can relate to that. Mitch just seems like somebody who, if he can find his footing in this game, he can do really well. And I think that this tribe is okay for him. Like, I think that he can find some point of connection with any of them. He seems like a very happy guy, and maybe they won't be able to know how competitive he is. I think it'll just be very interesting just to see where he lands. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Mitch.
I like Mitch. I think that if Mitch gets to the merge, he's going to be a problem. This man is very fit. He's a walking athlete, and they don't know it. It's going to be hidden behind that smile and happy demeanor. But I don't think he's going to be able to hide his competitiveness. I also think he's another one who don't take no guff. I think if it get real, Mitch is going to be the one to speak up. He calls himself a social butterfly, and he's in the mix. Clearly, he's going to be a story that's going to be told on Survivor this season due to his stutter, being the first person with a speech impediment on the show. But I don't think that's going to hinder Mitch at all. He's clearly made it this far in life with that. It's just going to be a matter of who's going to fall victim to Mitch in his reign of terror. Because I think, I'm telling you, when they want to get him out, he's going to win immunity, and that's going to be tough. So this will be fun to watch.
I mean, an endurance athlete, I feel like, is pretty well equipped to do challenges on Survivor nowadays. So
I mean, I think his story is amazing, and the way that he called out Christy from your season, Rob, and like the representation of that he's now providing is incredible. It's a story people will want to cut. I think that's a bit of an issue, is that people will think about that. That was my red flag. He wasn't the person I was thinking of to pick next, but I do think he's a really good pick, especially in this final round. So, I mean, I feel like we've all been like good pick, but there are a lot of good picks.
But was he a good enough pick that was your person?
No, he wasn't.
Just sniped?
He wasn't. My person wasn't even on the stripe. So as soon as she said that, I was like, oh, I'm out.
Okay.
So
There is a problem, I think, with Mitch, which is that I'm pretty sure he has to hate us.
Why do you think that?
Wait, why?
Pet peeves. People who interrupt.
Oh.
People who complain. People who are negative. People who always have to be right.
I'm done.
No.
4 for 4.
That sounds like
Who's wrong?
the first half of the draft and not the second half. We chilling back here.
Wow. Making teams based on draft order is crazy.
Who made the draft order?
I will say Mitch has also, so shout out to Survivor Texas, Cooper, who runs Survivor Texas, awesome guy. I visited Survivor Texas. Mitch has now also visited Survivor Texas. So I just feel like we're just connected here. So it was only.
AJ, y'all got a secret society in Texas that I don't know about?
So at the University of Texas at Austin, there's an organization called Survivor Texas, and they run a whole season of Survivor in a semester.
Ain't Mitch an Aggie? You let a Texas A&M?
He is, and he went.
Go?
I know. We don't get along on that front. Correct.
Okay. All right. We'll see.
Okay. Anything else about Mitch?
I love Mitch.
Yeah. It's
That's
going to be
it.
fun.
Okay. Shannon had her person. Asia did not draft them, and Shannon gets to take the person that she wants most here at pick number 15.
Yeah. I mean, after Cedric, this was someone I really wanted. And I think
To add to Shannon's team of Thomas and Stephanie.
Yeah. I think this is a great pick that's fallen very far. And I'm going to go with Justin.
Okay.
Luigi.
Yes. I mean,
Luigi.
he's an Ivy League graduate.
Disguised as a pizza guy.
History. Yeah, exactly. Wonderful. That's a wonderful thing. I really liked his interview. I think, again, on vibes, likable. How old is he? Let's find things out. He's a vegetarian. I like that. He's 29. That's pretty good. He loves pizza. Who doesn't?
No, he's obsessed with pizza. Like, here's the thing.
Who is it?
Area manager.
This man, no, he everything about his interview with Mike was like, let me tell you about pizza. He was making time for that. He left his big fancy career to go basically run pizza. A pizza empire, Luigi.
Run pizza.
Run pizza. He just revolutionized pizza altogether. So no, this guy his interview
This is a
was
problem though.
Oh?
Because if I'm on the island and there's a pizza guy there,
Pizza guy.
I'm just going to be constantly thinking about pizza. I just want him gone so
His
I don't
shirt
have to
says
think about
pizza
pizza
on it.
anymore.
His shirt
Yeah.
says pizza on it?
In the game, yes.
Oh, I was like, I don't see that
Just
on there.
running that pizza.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Not
get that
the
away
shirt that's
from
in
me.
the picture right now.
Is it embroidered?
That's like I'm on a diet and I don't need that in my house.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's not his fault. Like, and I hear what you mean. I mean, if that's the reason he goes, like, I'll take it, that would be unfortunate. I think there are other green flags other than the fact that he will remind people of pizza. So
I would
what are
definitely
his-
use
Green
that as a
tribe.
reason to vote him out.
What are his pet? Look at his pet peeves, Taryn.
He does have some pet peeves. He has one that I liked.
They're good.
Pants without pockets,
Oof.
useless.
Cringe. Yeah.
Agreed.
Not even a pant. Can't call it a pant.
My wedding dress had pockets in it.
What sells it
Real.
to me is the useless in parentheses afterward. That he's making sure we know pants without pockets are useless.
Yeah.
Taste.
They serve no other purpose.
Yeah.
Fair.
I can't
Okay.
think of anything.
He really liked, I believe Cedric was someone who he identified as getting good vibes off of. So that already, if the two of them can work together, they already have a vibe going early. They just need to bring in 1 and 2 more. I think that that's a good sign for him. He seems just so passionate, and I love that passion from him. And I think that will hopefully draw a lot of people to him. He just wants to share how they do their cutlets. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
And maybe a chicken parm for Puya one of these days.
Yeah, Rob, the deal's still on. Can't wait.
Okay. I think that his family's pizza place is actually nowhere near where we're going to be in Boston. So that's the only wrinkle with our plan.
We
Road
can
trip.
travel.
Road
Yeah.
trip.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
halfway or something, you know. Yeah, get some pizza.
Okay.
And you know, Bostonians classically do pretty well in Survivor, right? So
Who are the big ones?
Rob,
Hey,
Rob,
Bianca.
Rob, Boston.
Jake O'Kane.
Mhm.
You gotta love Boston, the accent and the whole vibe, and Matt Damon. Yeah.
Okay. I was very surprised that Justin has fallen to pick number 15. He's somebody I was very high on from the preseason. I think that he has the classic thing of having like the long hair, and people think he's just like a surfer bro, but he's actually a very smart guy. I think he's sort of like sneaky athletic, where he's not like one of the most like big muscly guys on the season. So he's not somebody with a big target on his back. So I like Justin a lot.
He's a target on his shirt.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There are
Rob.
3 picks left. Yes.
Quick question. Of the 3 picks left, or I guess 4, or however many, is there anybody left that you were surprised is still on the board? You
Yeah,
don't
so
have
the
to say
don't
who.
pull your shot now.
Yeah, the 3 picks left are what? It's Mary, it's David,
David and Chrissy.
Yes, I am extremely surprised that there are
I'm
a
also
couple of these people.
Well, someone's got to go last, guys. Like, you can't all pick them at the same time.
Yeah, I have to go last.
Yeah. Liana?
Yeah, it's actually surprising. All 3 of these people I had higher than some of the picks are already off the board. So I'm very surprised by this. But
You
for me,
hated the Cedric pick.
I did. So I'm going on an interview Jeff Probst gave where he talked about this season being dominated by partnerships. And what is the first partnership that was shown after Jeff Probst gives that quote? It contains Camilla, already on my team, baby, and none other than Giga Chad himself, David.
David.
So I am trying to manifest this, that Survivor production put this out here, that this is going to be a partnership that will dominate the season, and I'm going to bet on both of them. I'm picking David Chocolate Milk Kinney.
Okay.
This guy got some arms on him. Oh my God.
Right? And
This
also,
is a fun pick, Liana.
There's no way he's the grenade, right? At this point,
I think he seems very grenade proof of that in the new era, you know, and maybe Asia TK is like the exception to this, but you know, I feel like in these small tribes that, you know, you would think it would be odd to vote out such a person who's going to help you so much in the challenges.
I almost learned that the hard way with TK. I was so close to being grenaded out of my win. And I know a lot of people thought that I would pick David. Is he a, you know, buff guy? I usually go for that. But David didn't even like know who Jeff Probst was. I feel like that's like too little information for me. Like, I don't know that I pick like the Jonathans. I feel like I go for like, you know, the Sams, like buff but strategic. And David, does he have the strategy to get him to the end, or are we just hoping he like fully beats out to the end, which is possible?
And just to put a finer point on that, Shannon, that he did not know who Jeff Probst was at some point in casting, or I think he knew who it was, but he didn't know Jeff's last name. I think he didn't.
You're
know
not
Jeff's
making things better. What do you think you're explaining this away? What part of that?
Look, I'm saying that I believe since that point and when he went to go play the show.
Like he still currently doesn't know who Jeff Probst is.
No, it's fine. I don't think he's gonna get on the island and like put out his hand for Jeff and be like, "I'm David. Who are you?" I don't think that'll happen. I think at any point that he didn't know who Jeff Probst was is already enough for me, and this doesn't make it better. But I mean, like, can you win without that knowledge? Like maybe, but then it's like when Mike asked for his kryptonite, he's like, "I can't think of anything." I'm like, maybe that your lack of knowledge is so low that you like don't know who Jeff is. Like, just acknowledge it. I feel like it's a bit of a gap just for me.
I do think this is a little bit of like a fan light season in terms of the modern era, at least. But I still think it's going to be very difficult to win the game knowing very little about the show at all. I think that like at the very least, like you just don't fit in very well because most of the people that play are big fans of the game. And if you don't speak that language, it's going to be, I think, even more difficult to sort of explain your game in the end.
In his partnership with Camilla, he will be trained. She will teach him.
He's gonna drive him like a car. Just like
Yes, puppeteering like Ratatouille. That's what we're going for, okay?
That's a really good point, though, Taryn. I think last year's cast Asia season, those people were not voting for someone who didn't know the game by the end. You know, like they were like, I mean, it was Rachel won pretty decidedly, but it was close between her and Sam, and they were like going through each of the finer points of their game, really trying to make a case for it. They get to David, they're like, he made it here. We're not quite sure how. You know, like, and he doesn't really know.
Survivor
Like,
winner ranking tiers was discussed at the 47 tribal council.
Right.
47 cast hits a little different though.
Yeah.
I think that
people
the
were
47
bringing out
cast
the spreadsheets, okay?
Yeah.
And so, like they were at Ponderosa crunching the numbers. And so I'm thinking if this cast is anything like that, David's going to have a pretty uphill battle trying to explain to people why he should win over somebody who's a little bit more learned in the game and can explain their moves a little bit better.
But I don't think this cast is like that. I think this cast is a different breed.
Yes, but how far do you have to go from like there's a different, don't know who Jeff Probst is, discussing winner rankings at tribal
He has
council.
a good point. She has a good point.
You know,
not
they
knowing
might
the
be
host
less
of the
than
game
that.
is an extreme version of I don't know the game. Like
yeah,
who,
they
the
dropped
man is
47.
synonymous with the show, you know.
Mhm.
Pretty important for Survivor, but I think that like while I don't think 48 is the level of fandom of 47, I still think that there's a way to go then to where David is at with that. I just think is he gonna outplay people? I don't know.
Can we talk about how his photo could be like a movie poster?
Beautiful.
He is a
That is
star.
true.
Genuine, like the lighting is perfect.
Yeah.
You can see every like striation on his arm. Like it's just phenomenal.
You can see the blue in his veins. This is this is a fetching photo. We need to move on. You can't look directly at it in my eyes. I'm starting to squint.
Okay.
It is true.
All right. Anything else on David?
I think, obviously half of Australian Survivor casts are like beefcakes who don't know who the host is. So I think I should be more familiar with it, but I feel like it doesn't fit in as well in US Survivor. That's my one thing with it.
I did a preview of the season with Nicole yesterday. Nicole hated David, I think, more than any other person she encountered in the new era.
Must listen material, I think.
He's a very polarizing figure from what I can tell. I think people have really strong opinions about him or no opinion about him at all.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I think he's going to be fun to watch.
All right.
Okay. All right. So there are 2 picks left, and this brings us to a really important inflection point in the draft.
Yes.
We have Chrissy and we have Mary, and Puya is going to decide who is going to get whom of these final 2 picks in the draft. So, Puya, would you like to decide who you're going to get, or do you want to decide who Chappelle is going to get?
Isn't that
Power
the
I've
same?
given you.
Yes. And by the way, if you want to listen to that podcast where I went through the cast preview with Nicole, you can hear that. That podcast just dropped while we were on the air with this podcast.
Oh,
How did we do that? What, Rob?
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you be in 2 places at
Amazing.
once?
Yes. It
Amazing.
just came
Did you
out.
record a podcast while you were on the air with
I
us?
recorded the podcast in the middle of the day yesterday.
It's the way you planned it to drop during this podcast is impeccable, Rob. I love that for you.
Yes. Okay.
Clinical maneuvers.
With enough organization, anything's possible, Chappelle.
It's like you hired so many people and they just made it happen.
Yes.
Chappelle, I kind of feel like
What's up, baby?
you're my guy in the trenches right now. We've got
out
put in the
here.
bottom. So let's have an open discussion.
Yeah, let's
I'm
talk.
leaning one way quite heavily of the 2, but
Yeah.
what are your thoughts
Okay.
on these 2?
I too I have one of them higher than the other. But
Okay.
like my vibe this time around has been chaos, and one of them is giving me like the chaos. Like I feel it for them. Now also I don't know how long they are for the game. So I'm really interested to see what you decide to do to us.
Okay. Well, I feel like you can't have the 2 best social media appearances preseason. You know what I mean? Like, I think off one tweet that I saw alone, I want Mary on my team.
Hey.
I'm very surprised Mary made it this deep. For me to pick.
I love Mary. Mary seemed like the person who will take you to SeaWorld and free the dolphins. You know, like I'm gonna go.
Yes.
I'll follow this lady off a cliff. I will go wherever she want to go. Let's go. We will be in jail together because she is nuts and I love it. Good pick, Puya. Good pick.
Okay. Good pick at number 17 for Puya, who takes Mary.
Yeah, Mary is a lot of fun. And I mean, obviously, the deeper in the draft we get, the more you're kind of like maybe trying to avoid a grenade or whatever. Mary is such a good personality. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And quite frankly, I want to have fun. So I'm very much here for it.
Okay.
I'm shocked that she fell this low. I thought everyone else
Same.
would take her high. I had a couple of reasons I wasn't going to take her, and here they are. One, she said she hated Taylor Swift. I don't appreciate. What has Taylor done to receive, to be hated? Nothing really hate-worthy.
Did
And then
Charlie talk her up too much in season 46 that she
That's
just
why-
finished watching?
A lot of people hate Taylor because she is so loved, and I don't agree. And then the second thing was that with the Beware advantage, she was like, I would take it, but not open it to retain your vote. And I'm like, that's not how it works. Once you take it, you lose your vote. That's such an obvious loophole. Don't you think everyone would do that if it was available? So those two things were my major red flags.
Okay.
Mainly Taylor,
Mainly Taylor. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I love Mary. I loved her interview so much. When she talks about being a social worker, that was cool. But when she talks about kind of her lineage of social justice warriors that she come from, her mom and dad, I'm telling you, we gonna go protest something tomorrow, me and Mary, whatever she wants to go do, I'm down it. She look, if I gotta go break somebody out of ICE containment, then that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm like, yeah, baby, I'm going. Let's go do that. Abolish that shit. All of that got me real riled up. Even though she was saying, and she was talking about it so matter of fact, but then she let the crazy slip out. She was like, yeah, I'm kind of a chaotic energy. I was like, really? Because you sounded like such a a force for good and this and I'm like, but you identified. I've learned a long time ago in drafting that the ones that tell you they crazy, you got to believe them. Maddie Pamela, her bio said that she was feral. And I was like, yep, I'm drafting that. And look, no regrets, but she did not lie. So that's my only issue with Mary is that she has identified that not only is she a little chaotic, she's small. She's very small, and that's why I'm concerned about if her tribe goes to tribal council, if they would be willing to cut her to keep tribe strength.
The only she was pretty far down on my list, and the main reason is because she identified the most with Ben, and I was very
X-Men?
confused.
Ben Driebergen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could play out well. Played out well last season.
Well, it didn't. I think most people think of Ben as the person who, okay, he found idols, he played the idols. That's the type of game that they want to play. Obviously, they didn't like that at the Survivor 47 Tribal Council, but
With the spreadsheets.
But
Rachel.
what she said that what she liked about Ben was that he played the spy, and it's sort of like a little bit of a not super memorable part of his game. But there was a point when he was acting like he was still with Chrissy and Ryan and still working with them, and then he was like a double agent, and so she really liked that one particular thing that he did.
He had a ferocity that transcended Survivor.
Yes,
Okay.
transcended the game.
Yeah.
I think one of the red flags that stood out to me was her need to be in control. So I think that could potentially get her into a little bit of hot water. But this woman is a quote machine. She was absolutely wonderful. I think she's going to be so fun in confessionals. I also just liked her general approach to life about, look, I don't lie in real life. It brings down your vibrational energy. Like, okay, well, we might have to do a little bit of lowering this time in Survivor. But also the idea of, learning to say no to others so you can say yes to yourself. Like, print that on a t-shirt. I would buy it. So I'm really obsessed with Mary from a personality perspective. There are just the few concerns that were raised by the group that is the reason why I didn't pick her.
Yeah, the Taylor
She almost overrode my naming theming based on one pet peeve alone, which is slow drivers in the left lane.
We've heard that before, though. Have we not discussed this? We've had people have that before.
It's still a good listen. It didn't override my pick, but it's still a very good pet peeve.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Okay. All right. So that's one half of the story that Puya gets Mary, but Chappelle, I think you got a real steal. I think here.
Really?
At pick number 18.
You're welcome.
Okay. I'd love to know your thoughts on Chrissy.
Well, Shannon seems very high on this pick. So Shannon, since it was such a steal, would you like to swap?
No, I'm not. No,
Okay.
Rob said you had a good pick. And
I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted it on record that you are being facetious.
Rob
Okay.
thinks that you did really well. So I'm just saying you're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, I'll make the case for Chrissy if nobody else will.
I'm about to. I like Chrissy. My issue with Chrissy here is that she's like, hey, these super fans are doing too much. Now, this might actually work out for her because it doesn't seem like the super fans are that super here. There is a couple. But if she can get to like the situations where she's hanging out with the Davids and Joes of the world, I think Chrissy's at home. And I think she's going to have a compelling story if she makes it to the end. She's feisty. I like her. I like her energy. She gives me like tough energy because I think she was like, what is she, like a paramedic or something like that? She had like a
She's a firefighter who does,
fire
but she also
right.
it does works as an EMT.
Yeah. So I'm like, look, we love a healer. And so there were definitely good moments in her interview that stood out to me. It was just like the things about like, I think some of this stuff is y'all kind of doing too much here on the super fan front. I'm like, Chrissy, I'm a super fan. I'm trying to like, you can't just be like trash talking me and then also like I'm gonna draft you. So like that's my big issue with Chrissy. I tweeted, she's the only Survivor player aside from Mitch that I've tweeted about that's on this cast, and it's because her name, Chrissy Sarnowski, is a Survivor name. Like that just sounds like Chrissy Sarnowski won Survivor. I was like, I can hear it, I can see it up in lights. So yeah, I'm not mad about this pick.
I think the concern as always is that like oldest person on the cast and like people hate older women. It's not her fault. God forbid she gets some dirt on her face
but
as well.
I think that's not necessarily true in the new era. I think that there have been older women that have gone far into the game that I think that people had to take out because they were going to win, like a Julie.
Yeah.
Maria, I think, was also somebody that if she got to the end,
Heather.
Heather, I don't think would have gotten any
you don't
votes
know.
if she got to the end. We don't know. We don't know that. Look, it wouldn't. Maybe who knows?
You don't know.
I think the new era is more diverse in the way that they will vote, and they'll value different things, and they'll like maybe assess their own biases. And I think we've seen that. But even with that, I still think it's quite a hard road. And yes, it has been better for some of the old women like Julie and Maria, and I totally see that. So there's definitely a pathway, and we're saying this is an older cast as well. But even with that, we do sometimes see old women with like 0 votes, and it's like, again, that might pertain to their game, but it's just a hard thing to come into the game with. It's something you usually are fighting against, even if it's less so in the new era, I think.
I don't know. I just feel I don't see those concerns at all. Like I really feel like she's going to gel with this cast. I think that her work experience, her background, obviously, okay, I hear it. Like cheating or doing puzzles in your basement is cheating, but for this cast, that fits. Like I think that she's going to have a really isn't going to have a problem, especially doing the cool aunt thing. I think that that's the right way to approach this. The cast is older in general, so her being quote unquote the oldest member of the cast is not that bad of a thing. I'm really shocked she fell this far. I think you ended up with a great pick, Chappelle.
I'm shocked too. She was a potential winner pick for me. I think she's also somebody that she's incredibly strong. She's a female firefighter. She wears a 65-pound backpack when she has to go through her training. She's also somebody who I believe in the game of Survivor that authenticity is a real superpower. I don't think that she's a fake person at all. I think that the players are good enough that they can sniff that out. So she's real. She's strong. She's likable. She has a really positive attitude. So I think that also that maybe people might discount her a little bit also because that she is a little bit older. And I like that people who have a little bit of like a flaw that people might give a reason to not think that they are the threat that they are. So Chrissy to me seems like the total package.
Yeah, based on my pet peeve criteria, you guys really messed up this draft because you left a lot of good pet peeves at the end. And Chrissy is one of them. She doesn't like it when someone doesn't wipe off gym equipment and leaves it all sweaty. Gross.
Real.
I don't go to the gym, so I can't relate.
See, sometimes I bounce between did they just wipe it down or is that sweat?
That's still bad. If they wiped it and it's still wet, you gotta dry it. You can't raw dog it at that point. You gotta make sure
it wet like that.
Yeah. Ew. It's in the wet.
I wipe it always.
Yeah, always be wiping. So the other thing that I liked about Christy, yep. Yep. The B&B, ladies and gentlemen. She also talked about how her biggest superpower is that she could connect with people, right? And as an EMT, you talk to people in such extreme situations. I think she could be a calming presence if she wants to be, but she doesn't sound like she's afraid to play the game either, right? Like she doesn't seem like it's all about loyalty. I'm gonna take it to the end with my finals. Nah, I think with Maria and Charlie, she was like, yeah, whatever. You cut your number one if you gotta cut your number one. They gotta go. And then what about it? And I don't have to vote for them if I don't want to. Like I was like, all right, Chrissy. So Chrissy she was not last on my draft board. So I'm very happy that I got this pick.
Okay. All right. And with that, 18 players have been drafted. Chappelle fills out his team that he now has Say, Kevin, and Chrissy. And then let me bring up the whole, we got the whole thing. Taryn's got Shaheen, Charity, and Star. Asia walks away with Bianca, Cedric, and Mitch. Shannon has Thomas, Stephanie, and Justin. Liana has Joe, Camilla, and David. Puya has Kyle, Eva, and Mary. And Chappelle, Say, Kevin, and Chrissy. Okay? And that is your Survivor 48 draft. Asia, did you feel rusty? You jump right back into it?
Yeah, I did feel a little rusty, but I actually love that we are all so widespread on this, because I feel like sometime in the past you pick someone, everyone's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Or you pick someone like, yeah. I'm glad we just didn't all agree. That shows how great this cast is and how many personalities there are, and everybody has their different strengths and stuff. So it was okay. It was like riding a bike.
Okay.
You know.
Message from the chat.
Yeah.
Hannah Rose says, Chappelle, don't pick the grenade again.
I miss you too, Queen. Unlike the rest of y'all, me and the grenades, we all hang out. You know, we're all good friends. If you draft so many of them, you know, you just start a little club. We got a group chat.
John too?
Yeah, I have a winners club myself.
He's the only one that won't text us back.
Oh,
you know,
I have an
He's the
average
only
draft
one.
placement.
He texts
club.
me back.
Yeah. Asia, get him on the, come on, tell him to text me back. What you mean?
Okay.
Send him my number.
Rob, the chat is loving my team. Put some of those comments on the screen.
Um,
I think Shannon has the strongest
Gary
you're-
said, I think Shannon is the strongest team. And Tubby
Shannon.
Lunchbox says, Shannon's team is very strong on paper.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That sounds like shade. Get him, Tubby.
No, I don't think so.
Get him,
What else
Tubby.
do we have? We
Get
only
him
have
again,
paper.
Tubby. Whack her
I
again,
I don't see
Tubby.
any paper here, to be honest.
Drag
I
her,
guess Rob's
Tubby.
holding one.
Bios
I'm
were
holding
written.
some
Rob's
cards.
literally holding paper.
I love how
Yeah.
Tubby got you together so
I like
quickly. It
Karen
was so
and Shannon's
shy.
team's the best.
Okay. That's
Tubby
from
said,
Matt.
eat this.
Okay. All
Matt
right.
Forrest, you'll be betraying me on the back end because me and Matt Forrest normally be locked in. What is this? Stop putting these people up on the screen.
All right. Well, that is our draft for Survivor 48. I mentioned that the Nicole preview is up as well. If you want to hear that, that's in our podcast feed. Go to getrhap.com if you're not yet subscribed. Also, hear all things Survivor at weknowsurvivor.com. We've got a busy night coming up on Wednesday night when Steven and I will be back to break down the 2-hour episode. And then on Thursday, I'll get the chance to talk to great friend of the podcast, Zach Wertenberger, and we will have a long-form chat about this week's episode. Plus, I'll speak with the first player voted out of the game on Thursday. All right. Let's talk about what else is coming up for the crew. All right, Taryn, what else is going on for you?
Listen, we're counting down to when Big Brother starts this summer. We're going through all of the previous 26 seasons of the show, week by week, in the weeks leading up to the new season this summer. Having a great time. We're on Big Brother 9 this week. So if you need a refresher on what happened in the black hole that was Big Brother 9, we will be refreshing your memory on said orgies. So if you want to hear about Big Brother, check out our Big Brother retrospective podcast. You can also check out our We Know Scripted TV podcast, The Tastemakers, where we talk about the news in TV and film, as well as what's new, what's worth checking out, and all kinds of fun stuff like that.
Okay. All right, Taryn, great job tonight on the draft. Asia, so nice to have you back drafting. What exciting things are you working on these days?
So nice to be back drafting, and it's so nice to be back just consistently podcasting. I will say, backing away from podcasts worked on one person, and so it worked. Worked out for me. I guess. That's it. Maybe I could have been podcasting all along and had the same fate. But you can catch me on the Love at First Sight feed. Right now, I'm talking about Married at First Sight with Jason Reed and Mari Forth, and also talking about Love is Blind season 8 with Jason Reed and Mary Kukowski. Last week, I was on the Free Agents pod with Matt Liguori and Scally talking about The Traitors. Next week, or this week, I'll be on the Black by Reality pod talking about The Traitors as well.
Okay. And Asia has so much excitement going on with Married at First Sight. Her and Jason get everybody worked up and excited for doing live podcasts.
Yeah, that was so exciting. We did go live for episode 15. We were throwing up comments and stuff. It was weird, being live and Rob was nowhere in the vicinity. I was like, are we doing the right thing? But we had a great turnout. We talked about the most exciting episode there's ever been of Married at First Sight US. So there's an affair situation going on. So it was very exciting. So even if you don't watch a show, go check out the podcast because we cover it all.
And check out the Facebook group that Asia and Jason have about Married at First Sight.
Yes, we come join our 1.4 thousand people on the Perfect Match podcast. If you try to join, if you like, I watch Married at First Sight, or I watch Love is Blind, go look up the Facebook group. Just put in RHAP draft and I'll let you in because we require a password.
Okay. All right, Asia, great job tonight. All right, Shannon, the champ, came in hot tonight.
Yeah,
Australian Survivor is going like nobody's business.
Not sure if you heard. Yeah, Australian Survivor coverage is happening. Zippy content. We know globalsurvivor.com. 5 podcasts a week on that. So we've got possibly the recaps. I thought with Chappelle, Puya, and Mike after every episode. TBD after this draft. I did tell Puya yesterday after we spoke. I said, it's all fun and games. No hard feelings. I did say that. Look how he's looking at me. But I think we're going to get him back onto the recap. So that's what we have. It might be Mike 3 nights a week coming next week. And then the feedback show this week with Nikaya Danza, 1 exit interview a week, and then Survivor Global for Survivor 48. My first guest is Mark Warnock. Follow me at Shannon Gates for all of that content.
Okay. All right, Shannon, good luck. Hopefully we get to see you crowned again, a repeat champion.
Hopefully, although this tiara is made for a child, and I was like, why do I have a headache? And I think it's because of the tiara.
Okay.
No, I think, yeah.
All right. Liana, what's coming up for you?
Yes. Well, if you want more Survivor content, you can check out the B&B. We did our preview podcast where Mike and I went through casuals comments on some of these contestants. It was very, very, very fun. Also, Drag Race podcasts are going strong. So if you are watching the show, definitely check out the pod. Or if you're not even watching the show, come hang out with Beth, Amon, and I. And then Puya and I are doing the Puya and Liana Lounge, affectionately called PAL. If you liked the banter on this podcast, the PAL is your perfect place to get more.
Wait, you're that mean to each other?
That. Yes.
Oh my God, you guys.
Oh, y'all just wait. I got a rant
Yes.
brewing. I've got a rant brewing for the next PAL. You have no idea. It'll be there. So have fun with that.
Oh,
Yeah. So check that out, PuyaandLiana.com for that, or the RHAP YouTube channel.
Yeah. Okay. It's very fun. I feel like I know you two both so much better than I did 7 weeks ago.
We love it.
Share
Thank
a
you,
lot.
Rob. Yeah, it's Rob and I are vibing on some things, same audiobooks or more me mocking Rob's audiobooks. It's perfect.
Yes. Okay. All right. And Puya, you and I just talked. We had a busy day today. This is the third podcast of the day I'm doing with Puya today. We spoke earlier today. I won't spoil the traders, but the latest banished trader, we did an exit interview with them. Definitely check that out. And then we did our Traders Feedback show with Big Brother 24 winner, Taylor Hale.
It was a great podcast. Taylor brought the energy, and I was very happy to be in the vicinity of Taylor to get all of that energy. So definitely check out the feedback show. We had a good time there. Also, Liana's already plugged ours. My acquaintance over there, colleague, has named the other show that I cover every Tuesday, talking Australian Survivor. And I talk 90 Day Fiance on the Hot Mess Express. Come check that out. With new season has started, and Chappelle, I think you'll be interested in this season. There's a throuple.
Hey, I mean, yeah, I might check it out. I don't know.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Great job tonight, Puya. And then Chappelle, in just 24 hours time, you and I and Jenny will be back recapping the latest episode of Deal or No Deal Island.
Dundee. Yeah, not to spoil Dundee, but we've had some good times, we've had some bad times, and now we're going to see where we go from here as we talk about the next episode of Deal or No Deal Island. Jenny and Rob and I every week are doing that, and I'm doing Exit Press with Jenny, where we do exit interviews with the eliminated contestants every week, so check that out on weknowdondee.com. You can also, of course, hear me talking about Australian Survivor with Shannon at the beginning of every week, kicking it off. As you know, she covers 1 billion episodes of Australian Survivor, so make sure you check out that as well. Rob and I also got together and talked about the premiere of Suits LA, as in a way is like comparing Suits LA to the Suits podcast proper and what we liked about Suits proper versus Suits LA. We had a whole thing. It's on suitspodcast.com and you can catch it over there. And I think it's on the We Know Scripted TV feed as well. So check that out if you are a big fan of Suits, suitspodcast.com, Suit Yourself, all that good stuff. Go check out what we had to say about Suits LA. Also, Mary and I are talking about Extracted on Fox. Mary's telling me all these cool stories about how she sleeps outside on purpose sometimes and she runs and her family like lets her and it's a whole thing. And I'm just like nodding along and we're talking about it's crazy. It's a crazy show. It's so much fun. Check it out and then check out the coverage. Mary's going to be doing the Exit Press as well. So a lot more coverage for Extracted. Then on my podcast, Recap Kickback, we are doing to wrap up Black History Month, of course, we're doing a Black cartoon character, Brant Steele, for Black History Month to find out which of the Black cartoon characters is going to reign supreme as our first sole survivor in its heroes, healers, and hustler style. So you have to tune in to see which characters ended up on which tribe and who comes out victorious over there on recapkickback.com. Also, Mari and I are talking about the SAG Awards and the NAACP Image Awards and Clean Slate, the new TV show starring Laverne Cox. So go check that out. And then you can catch me guesting over on the Crying Laughing podcast with Dr. Amanda and Ariel talking about The Pit. It's the best show on television and you need to go watch it. And then check out the podcast with Dr. Amanda and Ariel and I as we went through the entire season so far to this point. And I gave some brief opinions about The White Lotus. And you can follow me on social media and specifically follow the podcast, youtube.com/@recapkickback, subscribe, or go to recapkickback.com/subscribe to support it.
This Friday, we'll kick off our Survivor Q&A for the patrons. If you want to be in on the live call-in show, jump on in and check it out. You can try being a patron for 7 days when you go to robinswebsite.com/patron. Survivor is better when you're part of a tribe. Come check out Survivor with us this season. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We'd love to see what you have to say in the comments. Take care, everybody. Good luck to the drafters. Have a good one. Bye.